Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. But if this is your very first time on my channel, I'd like to welcome you personally into the family, and to all of my returners, I definitely appreciate your continued support. Today's pick a card is all about the month of August. And to amplify the accuracy, not only will you have the PAL selection with your crystals, you also have each zodiac sign time-stamped in the description box. Now, as you can see, we are harvesting the frequency, right? Something new that we started doing. So if you truly resonate with this reading and you want to compartmentalize the energy into crystals and stones, I have these little capsules available for each reading. Just shoot me a message. So basically, we would empty the bowl out after the reading, let the crystals dry, and then put them back into the capsule, ship it out to you. So you have the energy in your pocket, in your sacred space, or wherever you want to put it. Now, back to your extremely personalized pick a card reading. This is going to be, I feel like, the opening for the rest of the year. This is one of the most pivotal months of 2026 because it carries like eclipse energy, major outer planet tensions, and then several like long-term transits that astrologers associate with collective turning points. This month features a solar eclipse in Leo, followed by like 2 weeks later, a lunar eclipse in Pisces, creating a 6-month eclipse portal, often interpreted as accelerating endings and new beginnings. Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto remain in retrograde, while Uranus continues its new era in Gemini, emphasizing on structural change, technological disruption, and shifting narratives. So many astrologers say that August is the month where the second half of 2026 truly begins. Okay. You may see government and leadership changes, financial markets changing, AI and technology, as well as like national identities, weather and natural events, collective awakenings, relationships reaching crossroads, career pivots, and unexpected opportunities. This energy doesn't whisper, it announces itself. All right. So to get started, I want to tell you a little bit about intuition for your pick a card. In case you're new and you ask yourself, what is intuition? Does everyone have it? How do I use it? What are the deets? I feel intuition is what brought you here. Intuition is what you chose from the thumbnail. Intuition is before your mind, articulates or analyzes, you have this inner knowing. But if you are more, toward the senses of touch, possibly, I always say try putting a hand or finger over each pal. So whether you're on a phone, watching from your TVs, just use a finger or use your hand. And it's sometimes like warm or a nudge or just like a gut feeling. Now, if you're anything like me and like the crystals themselves hold energy, I'll tell you a little bit about the crystal and I'll show you them. So for pile 1, you guys have this beautiful rose quartz, and rose quartz is like for anything. I feel like it's like pure. So whether you want it for love, whether you're wanting to amplify your manifestations financially or just overall well-being, rose is always like the cherry on top. Now for pile 2, You guys have a beautiful Herkimer diamond. And as you can see from like how it makes the card itself glow, it amplifies the room, any other crystals around it. And it's like one of the biggest manifestation crystals you can find. Now for group 3, Celestite cluster. This is like angelic realm, the hierarchy of soul purpose. If you want messages from your higher self, future self, or what the divine has in store, you may be interested in that selection. But don't forget to amplify the accuracy. Check your sun, moon, Venus, and rising sign that are timestamped in the description box, along with the pick a card selections and freebies and other tools you can use for astrology and tarot, as well as our playlist and guided meditations, but I won't bore you with that stuff. Now, if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, I'll give you a moment and meet you all in your selections. Group 1, you guys chose Quartz, and she is beautiful through and through. I'm gonna sit home, really under there, or sit in it. You know, we gotta be, I don't know, whatever y'all call it. So let's get you guys shuffled up. I'm gonna start with our Mellow Tarot, and we have several oracle cards to choose from, but let's see what we have first. I'm looking at the 7 of Cups. Now, what I personally love about 7 Cups is that it talks about opportunities and different choices. It talks about a selection. And I know sometimes choices, when we have different personalities, could be make or break, right? Sometimes too many choices could lead to indecision. But I feel like these are favorable choices. These are all options based on your wildest dreams. So maybe you aspire to do one thing, aspire to do something else, possibly relocating here or going there or buying this and that. I feel like your dreams are intertwined with the opportunities, and this is a fine time and or a beautiful distraction. Some of you may be seeking discernment. The cups kind of drift across soft layers like shelves in a clouded mind, and each one glows with its own light, their colors flickering between clarity and haze. Every option invites attention, yet none comes into shape or sharp focus. The scene hums with potential, like standing before many doors, each slightly ajar. It's a moment filled with desire, but also a quiet call for discernment. Group 1, with our 7 of Cups. I think 7 is a very lucky number, and is also a number for July, right? So it has current energy. What do we have here? Ooh. Now I'm laughing because I normally do not take reversals, but I don't hinder the oracle's wishes. Okay. Now I learned something recent about the Fool. And what I learned was it is considered by many like the strongest card in the deck. Why? Because of its capacity and ability to transform. Now, as a mystic and esoteric teaching, I will say the Fool can sometimes represent a bad idea. So let's dig into you, Group 1, to see what the universe has in store and what the oracle is trying to say. I'm going to go with our daily crystal to add a little bit of insight. Make sure I have them right. Let's see what we have. Okay. Ooh, see, mystic. See, spirit is talking. It's like, you know, I'm usually upbeat. I like the bright side. I like the good news. But group one has a choice or a decision to make, and discernment versus being brave, gambling, taking a risk, or like dealing with a little bit of indecision. There's like it could just be, it doesn't have to be like super scary or like really serious, or like the card said a bunch of doors are jarred and I can go into any one of them. That sounds fun. But labradorite talks about new dimensions and tapping into your dream world. This symbol offers like self-reflection, and it asks a question before bed and then writing down the details waking up. So for some of you, see the magic definitely talks about maybe your thinkings. I feel like you may be hesitant. There's something really good coming to you, group one, but you could be a little bit hesitant. Like, okay, no shade. If you're anything like me, so I don't want you to take this wrong. You know how sometimes when we feel motivated and we feel, I don't know, passionate and just like the fool, we could do anything. We're just going to jump, take risks, do what we want, wop. That comes without a shadow of doubt. But then when it's something that we really want, or that's actually a great idea, have you ever felt kind of nervous or hesitant? That's what I mean by options, behaviors, and perspectives, and as well as discernment, right? Now, here we have be the bigger person. We have Jade. Being the bigger person is deep. Now, the Seven of Cups kind of talks about with the Jade, like someone who, see what I mean with the Fool? Yikes. Okay, so it's a mix of things. I feel like your favor and abundance comes from you personally, self-love, your dreams and ambition, a new opportunity, a new dimension, right? But for some of us, and also you, right, group A, the Seven of Cups also points to some things that return, people that return, and they do the same things like over and over and over and over again, lacking commitment, always wanting to start over, or like wanting to do something again and again and again, like patterns and cycles. This person never gets it right. They always come in, play games, or whatever the case may be. Or if you have an energy of having ideas, getting hyped up, and then the fire fizzles, just be mindful of that. The bigger person thinks of a bright side. The bigger person also wouldn't punish others for that inconsistent behavior, because you have better things to do. Okay, especially when it comes to like your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, and doors of opportunity opening up for you. Now, Jade, among many cultures, have been thought of to be good luck. And it talks about also taking the high road. Elevate spiritual maturity by responding instead of reacting. Listen without defensiveness, and brush off encounters smoothly. So for you guys, it's kind of like taking things personally. Maybe there's something on your mind, could be a person, place, or thing, and it's kind of like take the high road, because there could be some behavior patterns that, I don't know, don't suit you well. Okay, especially your new dimension and the road that you're going. We're going to take a few of the oracle cards from the Green Witch Oracle. And Spirit is like, it's jumping all around. Yeah, I knew patterns were involved. I also felt an energy of, this card talks about ritual, but ritual is like what we do to amplify actions and intentions, like something we'll do to kind of wish something farewell when we let things go. It's also something we could do when we're manifesting, right? It's just like a habit or something that amplifies the process. Okay. So sweet corn and ritual is connected to Leo and South Node. And I feel like it talks about identity and breaking away from who we once were. I love that there's a protective layer around the corn, but most people find it useless. However, I think it preserves, in a sense. So it's like preserve your energy is what I get from that. Most definitely. Now with that, we also we have ritual and divination with labradorite and jade. I feel like it's definitely a fine time to like give it all you got, group one. Whatever it is that you want to do, because I love chives. It's like they add flavor. They definitely add flavor to anything you're trying to cook up. And mastering your own free will, aligning with the divine, strong, deep energies within you to help you change your destiny and meet challenges powerfully. All right. This talks about late summer, so current energy, but also brings about like cold mid-spring or mid-autumn. So it's like an in-between of some sort. It also talks about like shaded positions. Okay. It has a connection to Mars and Scorpio, but gives us protection from evil. It calms fears. It adds to abundance, strength, and emotional balance. So to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. There is something, okay? Because now I'm hearing that song, tomorrow, there's always tomorrow, right? There is something I feel like you really want, and where you are versus what you want and how it went or who's involved or who's not involved and how you're going to do it may be an aspect of the confusion. We also have duality. What I love about this is like, do you just love everything, lady? Yes. Duality is like, I'm going to give you chariot energy where you move forward with all of it. Some of us, it's a waste of time to sit down and try to do shadow work when you have portals of opportunity opening to you. And then let's just say you feel it's not the time. It's not the right time. I'm healing. It's not the right time. This is not the right time. That. And Spirit is saying, take those doubts or fears, take that cloudiness or things of unsure, right? And move forward with the shadow side and those things that bring you the abundance, your bravery, your courage, your enlightenment, and like the light. It also talks about taking control of our lives. Okay? Look at the shadow and the light together. Answer to question, and this kind of energy is like a maybe. So stand back and look at the horizon. Do not give in to unaligned situations. Whew, that's the whole word. Unaligned situations means we could be used to and familiar with something, right? But then something comes along that's actually what we want. And then some of that shadowy energy of, do I deserve it? Am I being impulsive? It happens. I'm telling you, you'll be impulsive at some random time and don't listen to nobody regarding something less favorable. But this thing is so favorable that shifts your timeline. It makes you nervous. And then you sit and contemplate it. And Spirit is kind of like asking you not to. That takes us to energy. And I love this orange, passionate energy. It's kind of like the sacral chakra. I love the number 28. So Spirit is like backing me up when it comes to having confidence and says, like, do whatever it takes. Like your rituals, your meditation, your mantra, into like manifesting whatever keeps you motivated and moving forward. Whatever gives you like a positive perspective. For me, it's like I do listen to a lot of guided meditations while I sleep. I do a lot of breath work. I set intentions at night. So I kind of like tell myself what to do when I wake up. So before I go to sleep, I've already like made it a plan that we're going to wake up on the bright side and it's a fresh day. And oh my God, I get excited and play a song. I even started a new playlist like today, which is crazy. Okay. But you guys have energy and you have orange. Now, according to the guidebook, right, oranges could signify for us like patient labor and attention, adventure, rapid progress, and true purpose. So like you don't have to worry. There really is no confusion. You don't have to be clouded because this energy helps you overcome challenges and it supports people who need the help, right? Avoid apathy or losing interest too soon. Now, if I talk about the people that came into my mind with that Seven of Cups, that's why it's like on again and off again. Because okay, I won't even say it's people. Group A, B, because you know it all zodiacs, most energy is calculated into, what do they call it? What do they call deacons? Yeah. So it's kind of like this could play out in the form of repetitive patterns, and repetitive patterns could play out in choices, decisions, dreams, hopes, wishes, people, actions, behaviors, and choices. Or confusion is just a feeling of nothing really making sense and kind of not feeling rock solid and clear on anything, nothing in particular, right? It's just a feeling, but it's not anxiety. It's not depression. It's just annoying, really. So ritual, divination, duality, and energy with labradorite and jade just says that you guys have the capacity and ability to use your tools. And the good news is, like, something you've already done is opening up the opportunity. But there may be an aspect of you that holds back. Now, on the flip side, if you are deliberating a choice, a person, a pattern, a decision that in the past, I feel like if you're trying to make yourself do something against your best judgment, that's where discernment comes in. But discernment is also a thing where trusting yourself and having the confidence to roll in this powerful new energy, it could be helpful. Okay. Now, for those of you that could be experiencing this in an intimate relationship, and then also these cards have like soul purposey kind of messages. We're going to use the I Ching love card, looking at one another. See, I know for some of you, I knew that this had to do with a person. I don't know why. I don't like limiting things to like people all the time, or like love. Even though it happens. Okay. The number 17 gives me the star. The star gives me just, I feel like an embedded feeling, memory. Okay. But this asks you to step into life's natural dance. Real harmony requires no forced compromises. Simply look with pure acceptance and let rhythm handle the rest. This is kind of like the advice, I feel, group one, to whatever that Seven of Cups is. Now, the oracle speaks of something that unfolds, looking at one another. The meaning is simple: acceptance of the state of things. And this harmonization, which is not condition, nor requires compromise, one enters into the natural rhythm of the world. Okay? Now, with looking at each other, I feel like the present moment was poking out, and we have the number 61. Okay. So the present moment, I feel like, is really grounding for a lot of us, because for some reason I felt like the number 16 in reverse. So it's kind of like the Tower in reverse. So where there could be a lie, if there's any confusion or fighting, it's a lie that we won't let go of. It's like an unstable thing. Ooh, I've had that happen. Okay. It's kind of like, I'll share a story. Sometimes you have habits, what people said, what people thought of you, and things that you slowly began to think of yourself. So ritual is that repeat thing that we always do, right? And it's like two things can be true. Maybe you do that. But I would ask you to sit back, be an observer, not really judgy of yourself, and see when you do it and why you're doing it. For instance, a person who becomes knowledgeable of traumas and patterns, like, oh, okay, I had an inconsistent childhood, I had inconsistent adolescence or whatever, and we moved around a lot and I changed all the time. If you also grow into an adult and then you have inconsistent relationships or inconsistent employment, you being knowledgeable and now aware and looking to master things to get a good footing, right, and stay grounded, would start to make sure you're consistent. You would start to make sure you're not codependent. You would do things that went against what people thought of you. So it's like now, as you feel like you're growing and improving or maturing, I want you to notice that you could be moving and operating still out of that trauma. Because now when we talk about opportunities, and it's kind of like the Matrix, when the payphone rings, and you just have to break away from what you're doing and answer it, you could be afraid to do that because it's like, I don't want to be impulsive. I don't want to be inconsistent. I don't want to be what they said that I was, you know what I mean? And not lack solid footing and being whimsical. But it's like, here go your ancestors or your spirit guide or whatever saying, girl, you know, boy, if you don't, and you, so just be mindful of that, because divine timing says that this is true to your heart. I take the 4 trees. It's like, kind of like, you can look at it as 4 swords or 4 pentacles, however you want to go about it, but it still gives me an energy of those of us that are holding on to that stuff that I was talking about and also healing it. It could be the same as something that's inherited, because I'm giving you this gift, whether or not like all that, I didn't work for it, I don't deserve it, or I'm working on this one thing and I got to finish that first, or suffering is a part of life, or whatever things that we think of. It is not, if it's that relationship, right? Because every time I go away from it, it brings us back. But it's mostly about like inner child healing, which does include those beginning relationships, those hopes, wishes, and dreams that we had, those behaviors that we worked so hard to peel those layers off and release ourselves from. Spirit is saying that all heals in time, okay? But also this present moment, I feel like it's more important than all of those thoughts and all of those conditions, okay? Let's see what we have. And it's time. Now we're going to all sit and look over what we've developed after we go over the next card. So here we have, the initial difficulty. Okay. Now what I felt intuitively is like that already happened. I know we're going up the steps, and then those clouds signify that 7 of Cups. But what's behind 7 of Cups is the heart. And what the heart is kind of like in the center. Oh my God, it's in the vessel. It's in your subconscious. Like, what do you really want, group 1? There's something about you have an opportunity to choose like what you really want. And the present moment, I always try to glorify, because I know it's the best place to be at any given moment and any time. But for some of us, the present moment distracts us, because how life is now, what's in your bank account now, like, it would limit you from reaching for the stars, because you think that there's a process and you got to take the steps, which takes us back to, is there sacrifice and life requires that? And, making excuses for what you don't have and limiting yourself on what you are capable of. Okay. But it also talks about, back to my lovers, my love bugs. Love isn't a transaction or a cage. Clear out the expectations and release any need to control. True connection blooms only in the wide open field of freedom. The oracle offers an invitation to not reduce your partner to an object, nor to sell anyone in the name of love, but to open oneself to the freedom where love can exist. Okay? Which is the same thing. I think the writer for this deck is an air sign. As a water sign, and I feel like most of my collective has water somewhere in the rising, in the sun sign, in the moon, or y'all deal with water signs. I like what it's saying, but I did like intuitively, I think I pick up on their personality, because when I read the guidebook, I was like, this person is kind of, I don't want to say hard or cold, but they don't have a lot of emotion. They don't have rich like spirituality. I feel like, a know-it-all or something. They just lay it on flat and expect everybody to just get it, and they're not mindful of like feelings. Because I read through this deck, and it's like, well, why are you using the cards? Because they're beautiful, and balance is key. Okay, so I'll be the medium between this and that, you know, and that being you. Okay, so as we look and observe over your cards today, group 2, with Labradorite, Jade, 7 of Cups, the Fool, I feel like you can't lose. And I tell you, the Fool is so transformative, and nobody figures the Fool out. The Fool has the divine. The divine at any moment can intervene because we have this clock here. So it's like August will be about your deepest desires, wish fulfillment, what's in your heart. On the bright side, for those of us still doing the work, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be honest. I feel like in shadow, you avoiding taking risk because of things that have not been healed, and repeating patterns or thoughts regarding how something went or keeps going. And I feel like taking the steps has a lot to do with like code for breathing, code for meditation, because that is where your higher self, like if some of you come in here and you do like want to know, like, how do I connect deeper with my higher self? You may not be the type that rub crystals together or want to do rituals and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, how can I get into manifesting with my energy? Well, it's through meditation, breath work, and aura cleansing, as well as your chakras, right? We talk about that all the time because we do have energy here where some people may be, you have the gift where you could do, you know, something cultural. You may have inherited, because we did talk about inheritance. You may do have gifts and abilities that lean toward, you know, cultural ceremonies. I'll just say that. But then there's you, right? And then all of us who also have both, where you don't need cultural rituals and ceremonies, even though you inherited and your ancestors may have, and you have like the birthright, the gift and the ability. It's like you also could have like dual, you know, heritage, where archangels, ascended masters, Pleiadians, you know, what is it, Lemurians and Andromedans, like your lineage may go beyond just continents, you know, nationalities and races or whatever. Do you get my point? So it's just like, this is a pivotal point for you. And because of you feeling it and knowing it, but also whatever's going on in the present moment, spirit is like, source is like, right? Because when I say spirit, I just feel like sometimes people don't understand what that means for us that are saying it. So I do see why people start saying, some people you hear say source, and even God or the universe. We just try to relay that this is an omnipresence of the great, you feel me? It's not like one of my cousins or yours. You have the capacity, and your oracle is that omnipresence of love, that you can't really go wrong, even though you're going to be put in a position to feel like you could be, but it's just a test of your own faith, group 1. So I really hope that helped. Don't forget to amplify the accuracy, give deeper meaning, or lighten up, because I feel like y'all reading was really deep. Look into the horoscope if you want like more details into the present moment or the exact choices that you're going to make, because this did feel like it felt big. You know what I mean? So don't forget, your sun, moon, Venus, or rising sign is over here. The timestamp for each one of them is in the description box. And if you are interested in encapsulated energy from this reading, just shoot me a message or go check out our store. And I say our because it's like me in spirit, but all of y'all know it's just me. But I'll probably say our. And they're like, who she's working with? Child, the Holy Spirit itself. Okay, until next time. Group 2, you guys chose the infamous Herkimer diamond. If the lighting wasn't like, I don't know why I turned the lights down and my camera says no. I'm going to make the lights look brighter than they are because I want to. But this is very beautiful, very expensive. So I think you guys are very valuable. Okay. Or have nice taste. I don't know. Group 2, channeled message. Something is the last straw. That isn't for everyone, but I had to get that out. And then we're going to stick this thing through to see where we're going with it. Could be for everybody. Spirit might have a plan. Like, I'm going to drive everybody there that could be experiencing this, particularly, strong in August, because all of this fire is everywhere and these transformations or changes. And everybody talks about these new beginnings and what's bright and what's beautiful. But what about the things that we have overcame? Or, as the message that was channeled to me, just sick and tired of. Rock bottom, despair, being on your own. I feel that you've always had to do things on your own. Not really a support group. Like, I have friends that, told me, warned me before I became an entrepreneur about not having the support of actual friends and family when it comes to like business projects and ideas. Then, there are astrologically just some starseeds, humans that are born onto this planet that have certain coordinations and have connections to energies. And those energies mirror heartbreak and pain, despair, issues with work, finances, how we do our work. Have you been able to? Because like surviving is important. And sometimes life gets in the way of the very thing that could, make it more cushiony. So if somebody was on a path to entrepreneurship or, wealth or something like that, moving up at their job, saving money, whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's kind of like not having that root chakra, that base stability, makes it hard to do anything else outside of be concerned with your well-being. So I thought about, despair. I thought about rock bottom. I thought about it's only up from here. I thought about rejection. Then it hit me when the 5 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords came out. I was like, Chiron, Taurus energy, which complements this amazing energy that we get to, right? So we're going to talk about that. And even look at how the colors change. Like, it's like total darkness. Then it's like what I've channeled, a breath of fresh air, some movement, the bright side, energy, happiness, and then how we actually bring it all together. And if you say, well, if that's the whole story, I'm out of here. No, you're not. Okay, so hold on. All right, so those were just channeled. And then we have temperance here, which talks about something like being reconciled, reconsidered, where fire and water, look, and for some of you guys, air, mix. And it's like, what's too much, what's not enough, what's overbearing, what's necessary, all of those things are reconstructed. And I appreciate that for your sake, okay? The first card that came out for you, you guys have the 8 of Pentacles. Very basic, right? Kind of cute, though. It represents a month for you guys where someone who has earned like every inch of the ground they've gained. It isn't overnight success. This is the person who had to learn the hard way, carry more than their share, and keep showing up when nobody was clapping. There's a quiet pride here, but there's also exhaustion. You may be asking yourself, how much longer Do I have to keep proving myself? Right? The Nine of Wands came up. Also cute. It tells me that you've survived every challenge thrown at you, but survival has become your default setting, and you're resilient, but you're also guarded. You're expecting the next disappointment before the current one has even ended. This card says you're closer to the finish line than you realize, but your nervous system doesn't believe that yet. And I know it because the Five of Pentacles tells me that we understand we're not where we started, but we don't feel anywhere close to where we want to be. And there's, it just don't feel good. The King of Wands here steps into the picture. And it's not just someone who's fighting just to survive anymore. It's someone who finally owns their experience instead of being defined by it. Confidence replaces defensiveness. Vision replaces fear. August asks you to stop seeing yourself as the person who always struggled and start acting like the person who knows exactly where they're going. That story becomes even more powerful, right? Like I said, through the clarifiers. And you can see it for yourself right here in just the colors. Now, I feel like working within this area, and when I look at this area, it's like, well, what is that? It's a blend. I feel like the lower chakras. But then I feel like the highlight, the help, I'm looking at the higher chakra colors that are connected to this magnificent outcome, as well as your core, your strength. It tells me a lot about like what has been helping you to hang in there and hold on. Because if it were all about that root chakra and the darkness, I don't think you would go through this light. You know what I'm saying? Or take this direction. So here with the Five of Pentacles, it kind of points to the wound underneath it all, right? And I feel like abandonment, rejection, feeling overlooked, or believing you have built your entire life without enough support. For many, this can show up through work and finances, family, or simply feeling like life has always demanded more than it seemed to ask of everyone else. And that takes me to another channel message where it's like, I'm tired, and this is, I'm not going to say it's hard to say if it's how you feel, but I do understand for some people that are aware of how it could sound, to not be overly critical of yourself, that you honestly feel like that and, try to push it down or, belittle it, dress it up or whatever. But some people just feel like, I'm tired of seeing everyone else win. That also came after the last straw thing. So I think that's like the challenge that created the last straw. The tired of seeing everybody else win, right? Now, it got interesting because Chiron has recently entered Taurus, and in early August, it stations retrograde at the very beginning of Taurus, symbolically, but that shifts the collective healing journey away from identity alone into questions of worth, security, survival, or self-value. So it kind of asks, can you believe you're worthy even when you're not struggling? Like, if you were taught to think you had to be, workaholic, you had to, hustle, you had to get things done, like there had to be more movement, it's a certain perspective. So unfortunately, for some of us that are dedicated, we could take that to the extreme, or should I say, like some of us who could be extremists. It's like that work, that flow, the way we perceived it is almost like, suffering and actually sacrificing. Oh, it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? But where's the reward? You know what I mean? So some struggles become the identity, is what the Ten of Swords said. And I feel like that storyline has reached its end as well. Not because the past didn't happen, but because it no longer gets to decide your future. Group 2. The victim narrative, the constant expectation of disappointment, the belief that you always have to carry everything alone. August asks you to put that version of yourself to rest. And I know that because right after that came out, we have like this new perspective. And I love the imagery as well, because something is impenetrable or I just can't see it. Like from the outside, it could seem like it's something else. And it's like the same thing. It has an aspect of a repeat, a pattern, something we do often. It has that same earth energy, so it could be Taurus. But then here's the sword. And then you see how it's like, it starts off like this, but then it ends up like this. So some new perspective, some new idea, fresh energy, happiness, like whatever we get to over here, because it's like matching something that was bottled up is now spread around or a part of the environment. You know what I mean? I love that, because even when I ain't have nothing, honey, okay, I always created like a small sacred space. And I don't care if it's whatever it is for you. You know, sometimes we aren't always where we want to be. And even within those limitations, there's like one thing, a bracelet, a ring, a watch, a corner, a candle, a table, a closet. You know what I mean? I laughed when I had friends who talked about like, you know, coming home from work, they would just sit in the car for a while in front of the house. And I was like, I didn't know how people did that. Cause it was like, I thought my family was too nosy for that. Like you see a car pull up in the driveway, they run into the car and bothering me. So, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by any means necessary, like a little bit of sacred space. You use that as fuel to multiply that feeling, that idea, that moment. Because if you don't, then you're manifesting, multiplying and fueling the discomfort, the unhappiness, you know, the other stuff. So do take that moment. And I'm not saying that I don't say things to just be like, oh, self-help coach, like just to get you through today. I guess so. That's cool. But these are literal facts of intelligence and common sense that we all have access to. But it's like we get swept in, caught up, parts of patterns, and then the people in our environment have the perspective that got us here, right? Or just aren't really different because of the law of attraction. So mathematics and science start working against us. But there's a fresh wind blowing in and some light, okay? And I just feel like you'll question your beliefs that you lived by. Maybe you've been telling yourself you're stuck. Maybe you believe no one would help. Maybe you're convinced. Now, I know how that feels and sounds, because it's like, no, I know for sure. Nobody supported me. I know for a fact, you know, disappointment multiplies. I know for a fact my hands have been tied and I'm stuck. And I'm like, okay, but hear me out. You're here because your intuition led you, but also we have like minds. So you are fair, and you do understand that even though it's 12 o'clock twice a day, nothing lasts forever. You know what I mean? So adding those positive reflections and then admitting that our old selves and those moments, or even that one moment, is what became the repetition, because we felt it so immensely and it was unexpected. It knocked us off the horse. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, if it stayed in the back of your mind, if it haunted you, if it was the first thing that broke your heart, or if it's just what your natal chart says you could experience, you still have the power with divine intervention, which is your free will, to utilize free things, which is your intelligence, your perspective, your neurological system, your chakras, and all of those things. It ain't got to be candles and oils or special techniques, which, I mean, you are going to at some point need a special technique. Okay. But you get what I'm saying? It's like a birthright, and it's something that we all have, something that we all can do. Now for August, like I said, the perspective shifts, your momentum changes, conversations happen, decisions become easier, and doors open because you're finally walking toward them instead of waiting for permission. The energy picks up quickly, reminding you that sometimes the breakthrough wasn't waiting for better timing, it was waiting for a different mindset. Then comes the emotional release. When I saw the Ace of Cups, I was like, yeah. Okay, this is fresh air. Holding your breath for too long, maybe you have, but this is renewed hope. This is healing. It's an open heart. It may be love, peace, creativity, forgiveness, or simply waking up one morning and realizing that life doesn't feel as heavy as it used to. I think that leads us to the Chariot, because some things could always be there, but it's also met by something helpful, something better. And then it makes this lighter you. So it may not be as, what is that? What do they call that? Not theoretical, but like, it may not be as dramatic and exciting as I make it sound. I'm positive that it will, but I'm trying to paint a picture here. Like, this is the fresh wind that blew in and probably brought this little ball or whatever. The sun, this enlightenment, this happiness, this marriage, this abundance, this awareness, this clearing out the clouds or drying up some of this water. Because, I'm a Pisces and I know how water can be overwhelming. Okay. But look at how all these things work together. I feel like this is you. This is the past. This is the future. And all of us. You know what I mean? You don't have to get rid of anything and you're not missing nothing. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a green light. Okay. So if you have been dragging your past behind you, you won't anymore. You're steering your future. The Chariot doesn't ease everything that you've been through, but it proves that everything you've been through has prepared you to take the wheel. Love that. August isn't about becoming someone new. It's about realizing the strongest version of yourself was never the one who kept surviving. It was always the one who was destined to move forward. So you've done the work, you've carried the weight, you healed enough to stop identifying with the struggle. Now, okay, it's time to drive. We're going to take a couple of clarifiers or some bonus oracle cards. I don't even want to call it clarifier. We're going to pull out some bonus cards for you, group 2, to see what we have here. So I see why Temperance is there. See that fire, water, that blend. Now you have divine timelines. I don't know why when I said something about getting behind the wheel, I was like, ooh, now that's like having some control over that wheel of fortune. And then the first oracle card that you receive, everything meant for you is being put into place behind the scenes in subtle realms. Okay. I absolutely love that because it makes a lot of sense to what we're talking about. And I feel like it could be symbolic to those that are still kind of in some little bit of disbelief about this great change out of nowhere. Rest in the exquisite knowing that everything you have ever asked for is already fully assembled in the non-physical realm. Group 2. The universe is working on your timeline this very second, organizing cooperative components and aligning serendipitous encounters behind the scene. You don't need to strain to see through the veil. Simply maintain your good feeling vibration and watch as your divine timeline unfolds in breathtaking perfection right before your eyes. So, with your eyes wide open and hand over your heart, hear the calling and the whispers of the ancient ones and the guardians of the land. calling you forth to learn and reach others. What is in alignment for you will be the rest of, I guess, completion. Like the things that you don't see, it will make sense. And then I feel like a change in perspective in your energy will allow you to continue to align in that energy. Because right or wrong, true or false, like however we got to, because I don't sit and argue about what came first, like the chicken or the egg. I've coached enough, listened enough, and experienced enough to know that sometimes when I say it's the pattern, it's the transit. People, you know, it sounds good for a little bit, but it's something you got to hear every day. So I hope you subscribe. But it's like to really, really get, and the cards are all flip flam, so I'm trying to fix them. To really have the breakthrough, it's like there has to be, with this set of eyes, right? Us having this conversation. If you tell yourself, well, regardless of if the disappointments changed me or if my initial disappointment caused a pattern to repeat, we can all agree that who you were in that mindset did not feel very complete or fulfilled, right? And so the universe is like, oh, because if you don't, you could get more of that just because you feel it so deeply and so often. So if I'm saying, well, hey, here's a shift, that's divine intervention. When we see the Tower and the Wheel of Fortune, and then we're like, oh, here we go again, all these magical moments, right? No, baby. Humans are going to human. You're going to repeat yourself because you repeat yourself. We were wired to do that. But then you have all these portals and the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower and all this stuff these people start talking about that you hear of, and you haven't benefited from it yet because of timing, because we all flow in waves, and or because of that very perspective. Because the disappointment in the past seems realer, you know, and you can feel it more deeply than any hope or aspiration. It's not as valid. So then the divine comes in, this Wheel of Fortune, these eclipses, these portals of opportunities, this like 7-year karma clearing, transits that haven't happened in the last 186 years, 6 months of transformative, super sprinkled glitter onto our dimension. These things are going to help you regardless. So even if you keep your perspective and your attitude and your energy right where it is today, I can assure you that there will be a pleasant change. Now you're helping it and jumping into, you know, everything that I'm talking about could magnify it, extend it beyond some portal or some transit, but you're still going to experience a shift in perspective and a higher vibration, even if slightly, because of what's happening for you behind the scenes. I'm sure of it, right? So that's pretty dope. And I'm honest, like we're going to be honest. It's like, if you ever care to know why, some people are here now, others a year from now, 2 years, they'll come into a reading to hear something similar, but you'll be a year or two ahead. And then that person who comes in a year from now, they'll say something like, oh, it's never my turn. I always hear about this stuff and da 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 da. But because we don't know, we go in waves, and our perspective could help or hinder, slow down, or ignite. You know what I mean? So that's just between you and me. If you would like to amplify the accuracy, if you caught bits and pieces that may have resonated, check out your sun, moon, Venus, and rising sign for extra clarity that may be more fitted and customized to you. Okay? Definitely appreciate you guys for stepping in today, and I do hope that it helped. Group 3. You guys chose like one of my very favorite, of course, right? Because it's blue. It's the same blue. I feel like, hold on, do I got another one? That's a celestite cluster. I feel like, and they're going to say, she always glazing them. Where is my heart? Hold on. I feel like that's this right here. And where is my heart? Hold on. What do I do with it? Ah, this is bonkers. The heart is always right there. And I just took it off barely for this reading. It's like, why do I be doing stuff? And then why do I figure out and find out that I did it through you guys? Which is what I feel like happened with the time thing the other day. But that is absolutely crazy. Where did I put it? Oh, okay. See? I have all kinds. And I was like, oh, look, the bird, the heart. Oh, okay. So once again, you guys are very special, as usual. So let's get started. We're going to shuffle out and see what in August. Okay, first of all, it's like most significant. Let's start there. We're going to start with what's the environment. Yo. Okay. Now, when the Ten of Swords reversed, I feel like it gives a different interpretation because that's crazy. It's crazy because it was a part of a story in another group. I had to make sure because I'm not above the law here. I had to make sure it's my deck upside down. What is this? But I did shuffle the cards. So this came out for you. And I actually think it just strengthens the energy about a chapter actually being over. However, it being over, but the energy kind of like still being carried on. So the healing process is already underway. And it's like you're not rock bottom. You've already climbed out. But for you, August is going to be about trusting you're no longer the person who experienced. You're no longer that's the most significant thing. You're no longer the person. Wait a minute. Okay, right. Because I don't know. Upside down, it's like the tower. You have a breakthrough. Whatever false narrative is there comes down. Okay. I also feel like for some of you guys, it's like you've already been working on it. Ooh, your stability. I feel like structure. This is decisions. Like, I don't know, maybe your past, maybe your experiences could have made it hard. Like you felt your choices were limited. Because some people would say, oh, it's your decisions. But no, it's not like that. It's more like, what decisions? Like, I'm flowing with what I have. I'm doing what I can. Like, what do you mean? Make some decisions. Get out there. Jump out there, right? Your security, authority, your foundation depends on you letting go of a past narrative of yourself. And it's so funny. It's so funny. This red line. Okay, here we go. This is cool. Let me tell you why. I'm going to get just a little bit political, which I normally don't do, but hear me out. So I literally had a thought. Is that a premonition? I don't want to be dramatic. And I thought about like the term redlining and how it was significant to migrants, even though, our ancestors originally was here first, but they still call it that. Minorities, and just, you could be any race, right? And have a family history of poverty, and they'll still throw you over that line. It's not funny, but y'all know me. If you don't, I do laugh sometimes inappropriately for no reason. And people do point out and say that it's trauma, but it's not. But I'll take it. I'm cool with it, whatever. But back to the story. This red line is like out at a distance. Okay. This red line also may have something to do with the challenge. The challenge could have something to do with stability, foundation, the core, your roots or root chakra. But the point I'm making is I never put the Emperor with a certain area that you would either be in or out of based on a control mechanism that you may not even be aware of that it exists, right? And I feel like for some of you, this is like where you live, where you work, what you have, what you do. I feel that you could want more. Okay. And the red line just represents invisible limitation because it's not even supposed to exist. But there are other things that were put in place long ago. And this system and this thing works because of the other things. Because it's not a literal red line, we're not doing nothing. What are you talking about? You guys are being emotional, being combative. Oh my God. But the stipulations that had already been pre-placed causes it. Now, what's cool is this invisible line of limitation may have interfered with happiness. It may have interfered with awakenings, spirituality, knowledge. It may have interfered with who we call source, and you could call something else because of a belief system. And I'm just saying that because now I'm just looking at everywhere the red lines are. Okay. And then how it separates something inside of you from everything that's around you. So it's kind of like if you felt you were born to do something, or you got rich taste, right? Or you deserve better in love, or your luck, your life just didn't really fit you. It just seems like those stipulations manipulate what's for you, what's in you, and then what you actually have access to and what you see. So that's very interesting. The Emperor also points to being rooted, and that root taking form from the center quietly. But once it completes itself or like really gets formed, it's unmovable. Now, above the small circle, which I see as the sun, it glows like the first light. The light turns on, like your strength, your power. So I do feel like vitality may be important for you, group 3. Just having the energy, the courage, and the bravery, or the audacity you're going to probably be stepping over some boundaries and crossing some lines. And I think, I'm not a martyr who just like to give everything to God and the Holy Spirit and source, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Leah, and Left Eye. But I do feel like in the design, so it could be astrology, it could be God, it could be the Holy Spirit, whatever the case. It's not just you is what I'm saying. But I know some of you would prefer to believe that. And I'm not going to take that away from you because, theoretically, if we are seeds from the source, then we are it. And I'm not opposed to saying that, but we ain't going to offend nobody today. Right? This card speaks to the power of decisions made with clarity. And I say that because you'll be put in a position where your inner knowing returns, your intuition, which is trust. You also pull back from being such a civilian, right? And understand the matrix where you don't fear so much the things that are in front of you, and you can hold a stronger belief for the things. And it's like a whole swarm, a school of birds. Is that for fishes? But I just saw them go right, left, right. Like they just flying around outside. That's crazy. Anyways, but I appreciate that for you. I appreciate this is the Trinity, like knowing that Neo was the one, right? I appreciate that this is love. I appreciate every part of this. I jokingly talk about the phone call in the Matrix. So that's why I said, whatever this is, I feel like you have help with in August, but it's unforeseen, whether it's your energy or not. And we also have the High Priestess, which for some of you, I feel like if you were betrayed by a father or partner, I feel that a soulmate or someone better for you is manifested. This could even be a soulmate that once betrayed you, if it's an Aries, okay? Or an authority figure, someone you trusted that could have betrayed your trust, okay? There could be significant conversations or healing, you know. Spirit said as a result of, that don't even make sense, but I heard of your fame. Because of your claim was just crazy. As a result of your claim, as a result of your fame, someone that you could have had competition with. Oh, that definitely sounds like authority figures don't really like having competition with people beneath them, and they make competition that's unnecessary. So I see that. Okay. But I do see, okay, your claim. I don't know. Y'all manifesting something. Y'all done wrote a petition. But I like that, like I said, decisions with clarity, meaning there's this inner knowing of assurance. So you believe it now. If you was like, I wasn't born for this kind of life, you know, wanting more wealth, more abundance, now you actually believe and feel it. I also feel like the Emperor representing the archetype of structure and the stable presence that brings it to form. So some of you, it's either a structure and or that structure bringing something, some sort of presence that makes your vision, you know, manifest, if that makes sense. Okay. Another thing that I like is that the authority is not just of the land, the men. When I say men, I mean humans. There's also like spiritual help, like the hidden voice that we all have access to, the intuition. And your intuition, I feel, guides you. You guys have a stronger connection. Okay. Now, I feel like an invitation to turn inward for some of us, if we've had if we have this turbulence, because what Aries, I feel like Chiron and Taurus, as well as Aries, because Aries is doing something significant in August, and those things, those transits could have an effect. And the advice being going inward makes a lot of sense, because it talks about you're sensing something that's already speaking to you. And maybe that's what's steady, like your spiritual authority. And like I said, your intuitive nature improves. If you have Aries, Chiron, it asks, who am I after everything I survived? Is the wound identity, courage, or rejection? And then, like I said, if you're Taurus, Chiron, now that I know who I am, do I believe I'm worthy of the peace and stability? There could be a pause, and your intuition asks you, are you still reacting from old pain, or are you responding from your higher self? Okay? And it's right here. Let's see what else we have. Okay. Ooh, I like this pair. Now, this is definitely Taurus. I feel like with the Hierophant and this beautiful color, like this purple and this star, it's very healing. And it amplifies the Taurian energy, where Aries is taking like a stronger approach to it, where it's not so much awareness and we're still like pointing outward. And I feel like with Taurus, and Chiron, it does ask for the inner healing or to come from within you. So it points less to outside of you, the actual situations that happen, the people and the places. I feel like the energy softens with the high priestess because there was so much fire. Maybe you've had to prove yourself and fighting through setbacks, carrying old wounds. And when the high priestess comes, as well as the Hierophant, it's like wrapped in this deep velvet color, the color of healing. And I feel like healing beliefs. Okay. Or it's just like a place of shelter, because the Hierophant could represent a church, an organization, a nonprofit. You know what I mean? That's so helpful and softens the situation. It gets you through the darkest nights where you can at least hear your inner voice again. And I love that. I always saw the High Priestess and the Hierophant as like a spiritual pair. And I feel like a soulmate, a person, when I talked about an authority figure that you know, could have been deceived by. Oh, look at that. Could be an intimate partnership or a child. We also have Aquarius. What are these bubbles back here? The Page of Wands. Yeah, I mean, I think their disappointments came from broken promises, saying things that they didn't mean, and you held it for fact value, and or trusted them, like I said. And what are you going to do with it? I feel that with the Star, there's some sort of wish fulfillment. Okay, wait, hold on. That's the song. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fanned out right now. Yeah, I'm fanned out. Cause like I'll just say like one of my favorite bands is having a live concert and I can hear it from where I'm at. So I'm totally fanned out, and unfortunately my and yes, I'm focused on you guys, don't get me wrong, because I didn't even hear it until just a second, but my kid is like fanned out. Oh my god, mom, that's so lame, you're so gross. But I am fanned out, I swear. So anyway, the Star, like the High Priestess, is gentle. And see, here's the promise. I saw it with the Page of Wands. I thought about speaking too soon, broken promises, I love yous that just get blurted out. I also feel like bad news or information coming from, a person who always disappoints, or maybe this person feels like bad news, right? But that is the past energy. With the Star energy, a gentle promise that arrives after a storm and darkness is hope. It speaks inspiration, rising, possibility, and trust. And it invites you to feel a steady light that emerges from your center. Okay. I feel like this emerges from the center. Ooh. Okay. So like with the breath work and like the Kundalini energy, I feel like there's some sort of rise. Okay. Now just be mindful of people trying to get a rise out of you. These soulmates, who could be family members, lovers, past, returning authority figures that have something to do with your well-being. Don't let them, get that rise. But for others of you, it could be like, resting in the presence of hope, letting yourself be held by the gentle glow, because the Star guides you back to the wellspring of renewal, where like growth and creation emerges from within you. And it's like a luminous embrace. I love that. Like each breath taken in this piece becomes a quiet return to your center. So I feel like that. I do feel like that's really important, to where, a lot of things you'll have to ignore. I feel like a lot of people you could have to ignore, but I also feel like the ones that hurt you could be significant. I feel like some of you are going to come across an individual that gives you like collective insight so that you can have extra support breaking out of conformity or tradition, like someone very knowledgeable, possibly helping you with that. I feel that you could be, because we talked about going inward. So I also feel like you could be that guidance. So you going inward and seeking that wisdom, I feel like people may learn from you something that you could have walked away from before, or something within you that's familiar that you haven't really noticed, and you realize something new about yourself, like a new light. Like the light gets brighter as you heal. The light gets brighter. That's very interesting. Let's take, okay, I love that. Look at that. I'm gonna sit that here, and then we're gonna take some bonus cards. You guys got the Two of Cups. I feel like that's harmony and balance. A relationship possibly restores too, because I always took the Hierophant. I'm telling you, and like the Queen of, I'm sorry, the High Priestess, I take them as two people that's been through a lot of betrayal. Got that. And I feel like this connection could have to do with family. Okay. And if not family, I feel like well-being, structure. Okay. Spirit is like, yeah. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure we got it. Now, for some of you, this is past a partnership. In a future perspective, it's a blessing that your heart remained open for. And I feel like the presence of someone else, so to not allow the betrayal in the past to close your heart out, because you will ask yourself questions, or maybe, if you are having difficult questions, conversations with whoever, one of the questions could be like, what are we building together? And I feel like those of you in the future, someone could want to build something beautiful and like radiant with you, whether it's love, friendship, or a creative union. I feel like it's a sacred beauty and a mutual resonance where someone makes dreams and wishes come true, and then someone else like just has, how like some people aren't spiritually fulfilled by those in their environment. So people from mixed worlds, opposites attracting. It's like you have something that isn't accessible among, that group. It's kind of cool, because I still feel something about like hopes, wishes, and dreams, fame and fortune. And then I also feel like healing, deception, and timing. You know what I mean? And like how all of that brings this beautiful thing out of you. The things, it's like, sure, we could be beautiful without going through, being dragged through the mud first, but it's still something beautiful in the chemistry of a person that could have experienced those things and maintain their beauty. Does that make sense? Okay. Now we're going to do some Green Rich Oracle, because I'm just feeling like, fruits and vegetables are just what we need right now. See what we have for you, group 3. But that is so cool. It feels really good. Look at that. You got cucumbers. Cucumbers are connected to, as you can see, emotions. And I feel like someone has a change of heart. That's why I say something that didn't work does work. And then something within you is healed that changes everything outside of you. But uncertainties are falling away with our little cucumber. Commitment and major life decisions coming up. And here is making decisions with clarity. It's like shoot for the stars. Go big. That's not the challenge or what could go wrong. That's like the advice or a possible outcome for you. Now, take bold steps, but take account of your emotions before you do so. Like before you choose a path, before you make this decision, think about it. Ride unsettling emotions like a wave, but gently. So it's like not being hard on yourself. Okay. I feel like as far as timing for a lot of you, it's like that midway mark. This is connected to the moon and Venus as well as Cancer. And it talks about commitment, prosperity, improvement, and expansion. So I do love that. And that makes a lot of sense. Now, group 3, don't forget to check your sun, moon, Venus, and rising sign to like amplify the accuracy for your customized message. All right. And we're going to take another of our Green Witch Oracle. It's like, do you want me to keep? Nope. Okay. That's all. I can feel it. Okay. I was going to stop. Oh, look, we got the number 21. And I see Scorpio here with trust and this protection. So some of you, it's like karmic energy has been cleared. Some cycles have been completed. Debts have been paid. Okay. All right. I like that. I also feel like basil has always been like a really good herb to use to add flavor, but also luck. So trust in luck. I feel like some of you here may not, but trust and relationships working is also gaining harmonious ground in romance is basically the 2 of Cups in this card, or a general connection. So maybe this has to do with education or travel, but shining. The advice is to avoid toxic relationships. Now, I'm honest enough to say that toxic relationships also involve patterns within us. So what is your toxic relationship and with what or who? Avoid that at this time. You know what I mean? So if you have been in like rehab from dust buckets, don't turn back now. It's a window of opportunity opening for you. And know like the less past energy we have, okay? And the more tests we passed, that's going to close the portals. And that's how you get karmic energy, where they say that debt is paid, being released from karmic cycles by our clear decisions. When you make a decision or you let others make it for you, like, oh, I know they're not good for me, but they stopped calling me first. You know, you didn't make that decision. You were still available emotionally. And that's how they do too, you know, if you didn't know. So you have to consciously make the decision when you have an opportunity, or you didn't make a decision at all. Okay. And then that's how it seems like, oh, but I've been in solitude. I ain't, you know, I keep attracting, And it's like, the minute you get that opportunity, how do you feel and what do you do? Okay. So be mindful of that. Oh, look, we got positivity. We got, I feel like Leo energy, and it's kind of like the 2 wands. So now that you have that bit of information, or any dreams, hopes, and wishes that you did sit down because you had to live everyday life, now pick the creativity and those ideas up. It's like, it's still about a choice or a decision. Like you were going in one direction, you had one thing, and then it's like, oh, what is this? Okay. So that sounds good to me. And I do hope that it helped. All right, love bugs. We are going to get started with the horoscope. Now, you will have your individual timestamps in the description box. So hopefully you've done your pick a card. If not, and you just came here for the horoscope, perfectly fine. Okay. So we're going to give a quick rundown of some very important transits. Then I'm going to dig into each individual zodiac and also give exclusive details for how it affects the sun, moon, Venus, and rising sign of each zodiac. So some of you here may be Pisces sun or Gemini Venus, whatever the case may be. Check all of yours if you know what they are. If not, there's also a link to the store if you want to schedule your personal horoscope or natal chart reading. So let's just talk a little bit about the biggest transit in August. Happens on August 12th. It is the solar eclipse in Leo, and this eclipse opens an entirely new 6-month chapter. Leo rules leadership, confidence, creativity, entertainment, children, royalty, fame, visibility, and the heart. So between me and you, or you and I, this is the month to make your moves, okay? Collectively, you'll even see headlines politically, celebrity shakeups, leadership changes, major corporate announcement, market speculation, and dramatic media events. Personally, wherever Leo falls in your birth chart becomes the place where life demands courage. Sometimes eclipses remove something because something much larger is waiting. Now, August 27th, lunar eclipse in Pisces. This eclipse will feel very spiritual. Pisces dissolves illusions, secrets surface, and truth arrives. Old emotional stories finally end. Many people could experience unexpected endings, emotional breakthroughs, spiritual awakenings, vivid dreams, intuition becoming impossible to ignore. And I'll share something with you. I know I talk a lot about stay hydrated, keep your positive thoughts, meditate. You got this whole holistic lifestyle thing going on. But I kid you not, there are improvements, I feel like, in all of our gifts because so many people are talking about it. And I've experienced, if my first mind says like premonition, but I want to like come up with something new. Okay. But it's like, I would randomly have a thought that I dismiss. And then days later, here we are. Just like you guys may have chose Powell, I won't say. But in the Powell, there is a concert happening that I could hear, and I geeked out about it because I liked the band when I was little. Now, mind you, and I'm not making this up, a few weeks ago or days, there was another concert. Totally different cultural. It was like the Hispanic LA old time goodies or whatever. I don't know, whatever it was. They were jamming though. And I had a thought about one of the band members that literally I heard, performing in one of your pickacard readings recently. I didn't see anything online. It wasn't nothing subconscious resurfacing. I randomly thought about that band while hearing another concert, and a week later, that band was there. I kid you not. Now, I wouldn't tell you guys about it if it was just a one-off. This is the second or third time that this has happened in July. Random thoughts. Something pops up in my head. I dismiss it. Days later, it happens. Like Jay-Z coming to LA. I just be having thoughts. Okay, so hear me out. So the one band that led to the actual band that I thought about performing that I knew nothing about, right? Then I don't know why I just be having stupid. I think of silly stuff, so if y'all think of silly stuff too, great. We're at home here. But what led me down the rabbit hole of thinking about the type of artist that wouldn't be here? Cause I was like, this is like an old band, and sure, they won a Grammy, I think, or got nominated. I just kind of felt like the promoters were bringing people that were reasonable, right? The first person that crossed my mind, who I said probably I would fall out on the floor if they came. And then I was like, they would never, go to that place because it's smaller. You know what I mean? Now I get online a day later, right? And so yes, I did do your guys' reading within a 2-day span because we're not going to rush or overwhelm anything. But anyways, the next day, I see that the Staples Stadium is sold out for day 1. So they opened up day 2. So he actually will be here in October for 2 days. Random things. What I'm saying is, it's like the universe or God, showing how trusting yourself or what we're capable of, little bitty hints and sprinkles of insight. And I appreciate it because it says that I'm here. It says that you don't be tripping, collective. It says that we, normal people like you and I, are having insight and opportunity that may have just been afforded to who you deem to be stars or experts. So I've also noticed like some of my patterns, behaviors, and upgrades on my channel in some of my more popular readers on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, now I'm not about to start tooting my horn or getting beside myself, but I watched a few more videos and I seen a few more of our things. So again, I said all is fair because if I'm, if I'm motivated or inspired by something, nobody comes back to me and say, oh my God, that totally looks familiar, So I won't, I don't take it negatively. I take it as spirit, the universe, the earth, the collective grid, whatever you see it as. I feel like it's strengthening. We're strengthening, and we all are getting more equal opportunities is what I'll say. Okay. I'm not kidding. So hopefully you take a look at some of your thoughts and dreams, and then, pat yourself on the back when you called it, you nailed it, or your feelings that you have like become more accurate, or you have more confidence to believe in yourself, or when spirit gives you ideas, you start to move on them. That's the type of energy or insight that I predict for August, because how my gifts work is I usually see things beforehand, and I will admit I'm one of those people that don't take nothing of it. And then ultimately some things will come to pass. And I guess what I'm going to do is possibly, along with getting excited and being motivated for what that even means, I'll stop dismissing so many things. Okay. So anyways, August, right? We've gotten through the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse. Now, Leo and Pisces have always had history. I would challenge you guys to look into it, especially if you're a love bug, or you at one point, even if you're off it already, followed the Stargate portals and the twin flame stories and all of that jazz. Some other things that may be very interesting: Saturn retrograding in Aries, who we're going to start with in just a minute. It spends this month retrograding, not in a punishment sort of way, but accountability. So projects that aren't built on solid foundations begin revealing their cracks. People who have avoided responsibility may now find themselves forced to face it. But those who have quietly been doing the work can finally begin seeing long-term reward. Neptune is also in retrograde. Illusions dissolve. People see relationships differently. Career paths suddenly make sense. Spiritual awakenings accelerate. False promises lose power. Truth becomes impossible to ignore. Now, Pluto is also retrograde in Aquarius. This is generational: technology, artificial intelligence, government systems, power structures. Everything continues transforming beneath the surface while Pluto slowly moves. August exposes another place of the future. Now, Uranus and Gemini, perhaps the biggest collective storyline. So I'm actually going to do the work, you guys. I love our pick-a-cards. You'll still see them on the timeline, but I'm going to do individual readings for things like Pluto, Saturn retrograde. The eclipses will have their own storyline and reading, and Uranus and Gemini. Media, education, social platforms, AI, unexpected announcements may arrive without warning. 7-year transit is getting started. Remember, we talked not too long ago about 7-year transits ending. That felt more familiar and like home. It could have even been like intimidating, because what now? We're going to see. Okay. Now, Jupiter's opportunity continues expanding confidence, creativity, leadership, and visibility before making one of the month's most notable aspects at the very end of August. Many astrologers view this period as favorable for stepping into larger opportunities, especially where authentic self-expression is required. So if you followed me or anyone else that have been talking about actual astrology or astronomy, and these messages could even come through divination, don't get me wrong, pick a card, tarot readings, zodiac readings, whatever. We were talking about identity. And again, I can be passive. I don't sit and think about how these things can affect me personally if I'm the voice, right? But I am good at connecting dots. And usually that's what sits me down. So when I remember talking to you guys about one thing and then something else comes up, I have revelations, right? So that's why I said maybe I can stop being so dismissive, and just jump right in, roll with the tides or whatnot. Now, I did want to dig into once in a lifetime things, because I'm never the type of person that sit and we got so much other stuff going on. I don't gas y'all up all the time that this is like the only opportunity, this is the one time this is gonna happen just for clicks, right? But I said I want to do some research, I want to do some meditation on something that could be like once in a lifetime, or at least decades, rarest periods in the decade. And between Saturn entering Aries, Neptune entering Aries, Uranus entering Gemini, and Pluto in Aquarius, those are 4 outer planets shifting entirely into new signs within a relatively short span, making a broad generational transition that many astrologers consider historically significant. So this is the biggest of an entirely different era. As a millennial, I feel obligated to make these announcements and follow these transits, because we haven't had anything as big as Y2K yet, But then, like I said, we're going to get into each zodiac sign receiving 4 separate forecasts for Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. So I'll give you an opportunity to let this soak in, and then head into the description box and click on your zodiac signs. See you there. All right. Aries, you are first. The warrior awakens. All right, Aries, this month isn't about surviving. It's about reclaiming yourself. You spent months questioning whether you're on the right path. You've replayed conversations, second-guessed decisions, and wondered if you've somehow fallen behind. August arrives to remind you of something you've forgotten. You were never built to follow someone else's timeline. 1. The eclipse activates a powerful shift between your confidence, creativity, daily routines, and emotional well-being. Oh, wait, that was 2. And then Saturn continues demanding maturity, while Pluto quietly transforms the people you surround yourself with. Now, Uranus keeps opening doors you never imagined, and you don't want the door to close, right? If that's what you feel like you've been missing. By the end of August, you may barely recognize the version of yourself that walked into this month. So let's start with Aries Sun, the return of your fire. If you felt emotionally or physically drained this year, August begins rebuilding your confidence one decision at a time. The Leo eclipse ignites your 5th house, the house of passion, creativity, romance, children, risk-taking, and authentic self-expression. This is not the month to play it safe. It's the month to finally launch the business, ask someone out, start creating again, write a book, post the video, apply for the promotion. The universe isn't rewarding perfection, it's rewarding courage. Financially, opportunities may appear through creative work, leadership, side businesses, or hobbies you've underestimated. Don't dismiss something simply because it doesn't look traditional. Relationships become more intense. If you're single, someone may enter your life who reminds you of how exciting love can feel when you're fully yourself. If you're partnered, expect honest conversations about the future. Anything built on ego begins cracking. The Pisces lunar eclipse later in the month asks you to release exhaustion. Stop trying to save everyone. Stop carrying burdens that begin to, overwhelm you and belong to other people. You cannot build your future while dragging yesterday behind you. Career momentum increases after the eclipse. Someone notices your work. Recognition comes from consistency and not luck. Power days for you. I feel when inspiration strikes, act immediately. Momentum matters more than perfect timing. Greatest opportunity, turning a passion into an income. Your biggest lesson, confidence is created through action, not waiting to feel fearless. Now, Aries moon. Your theme is emotional healing before expansion. So your emotional world takes center stage this month. For too long, you've been pretending certain things don't hurt. August doesn't allow avoidance. The Pisces eclipse opens emotional doors that you've kept locked for years. Old grief, family wounds, unfinished conversations, memories you thought you'd buried, instead of overwhelming you, this process clears emotional space for something healthier. You'll notice yourself reacting differently. What used to trigger you doesn't. What once felt impossible suddenly feels manageable. Relationships become softer, more honest, more vulnerable. Someone may apologize. Someone may finally understand your perspective, or perhaps you stop needing the apology altogether. Financially, emotional spending becomes obvious. Buying temporary happiness won't solve permanent discomfort. Choose peace over impulse. Spiritually, intuition is incredibly strong. Pay attention to dreams, coincidence, repeated numbers, unexpected encounters. The universe whispers before it shouts. Your moon is finally listening. Your greatest opportunity is emotional freedom. Your challenge, letting go of the identity built around old pain. Now, if you are Aries Venus, your theme, love stops settling. If your Venus is in Aries, August changes your standards. You're no longer interested in chasing people who send mixed signals. The Leo eclipse reminds you that genuine attraction, what it is and what it feels like. Mutual, easy, exciting, confident, and not confusing. Singles may experience sudden attraction that develops quickly, someone bold, creative, confident, and passionate. The chemistry could be undeniable. Couples rediscover excitement by breaking routine, so travel, new experiences, honest communication, spontaneity saves relationships from becoming predictable. Money improves when you stop undervaluing your skill. Charge what you're worth. Ask for the raise. Negotiate. The universe can increase your abundance if you're afraid to receive it. Venus also reminds you that luxury isn't always expensive. Sometimes peace is the richest thing you can own. Now, for love advice, don't confuse intensity with compatibility. And for money advice, confidence attracts abundance. Now, for Aries rising, your theme is life-changing directions. For Aries rising, I feel August won't be subtle, okay? Events begin happening around you that shift your future. The Leo eclipse energizes the area of your chart connected to joy, romance, children, creativity, and personal visibility. Life wants you to be seen. Expect invitations, unexpected opportunities, recognition, people noticing your talents. Networking becomes surprisingly powerful. Someone you meet this month may influence your next several years. Don't cancel plans simply because you're tired. The right room changes everything. Career momentum accelerates. A new role, a leadership opportunity, a move, a business launch. Something you've been quietly hoping for may suddenly become real. The Pisces eclipse also encourages rest. Protect your sleep. Your nervous system has been working overtime. Healing happens in stillness, not constant productivity. Relationships improve when you communicate clearly instead of assuming people understand your intentions. Health also deserves attention. Small daily habits create enormous long-term results. This month isn't about dramatic overnight transformation. It's about choosing the future version of yourself every single day. By September, you will realize August was the turning point. Your greatest opportunity is a completely new life path begins opening. Watch for saying yes too quickly without reading the details. Aries August affirmation. I no longer chase what is leaving. I confidently build what is meant for me. Every bold step I take creates the future I've been waiting for. Next up, we have Taurus. All right, my beautiful Taurus, it is your turn. We're going to talk about Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising for Taurus for the month of August. I hope you've had your pick a card, but if you did not and you came here exclusively for your horoscope through Zodiac, that is absolutely fine. I also did an overall for August just to give you some insight, but now we'll get started with your individual personal reads. Taurus. Okay, I got my crystals out. Check. Hold on. I went into Neptune retrograde and then Mars popped up. I was like, what is that? We just got finished with Aries and we're moving through the motions. The foundation is shifting for Taurus. Okay? You spent the better part of the year trying to create stability while life kept changing the rules. As an earth sign, you'll crave security, predictability, and something solid to stand on. But August isn't asking you to cling to the old foundation. It's asking you to build a stronger one. This month activates your home, family, emotional roots, career ambition, and long-term purpose. The eclipse shines a spotlight on where you truly belong and where you've outgrown your surroundings. Sometimes the universe doesn't destroy your comfort zone. It simply makes it too small for the person you're becoming. If you are a Taurus sun, the theme is building a life that actually feels like home. The Leo solar eclipse lifts up your fourth house, home, family, real estate, ancestry, and emotional security, as well as your private world. Don't be surprised if you're suddenly thinking about moving, renovating, buying property, reconnecting with family, or redefining what home means. For some Taurus suns, this is literal. For others, it's emotional. You may finally realize you've been trying to make yourself comfortable in places where you were never meant to stay. Career changes are brewing behind the scenes. Something at work may feel uncertain at first, but don't confuse change with loss. Sometimes what looks like a setback is simply the universe clearing space for a better opportunity. Financially, August encourages smart investments rather than emotional spending. Think long term, property, retirement, education, skills that continue paying you years from now. Relationships become deeply emotional. If you're single, someone may enter your life who feels familiar, as though you've known them before. If you're committed, conversations about living together, marriage, children, or future plans become more serious. The Pisces lunar eclipse later this month highlights friendships. Not everyone who's been walking beside you is meant to walk into your life. Some friendships naturally evolve, others quietly fade. Don't mistake distance for failure. Sometimes people simply complete the role they were meant to play. The greatest opportunity here is creating lasting security. The challenge could be letting go of outdated attachments. If you are Taurus moon, your theme is healing the heart before expanding the future. Your emotions become impossible to ignore this month. Normally, you're incredibly patient, steady, reliable, but August asks something different of you. It asks you to be honest. See how? Where's my Taurus? Because I'm like, honest. I'm kidding. There may be moments where you realize you've been carrying responsibilities that were never yours. Aha. I totally resonate with that. So family expectations, relationship dynamics, old guilt, emotional obligations. The Pisces lunar eclipse helps you release emotional weight you've carried for years. You don't have to keep proving your worth by sacrificing your own happiness. Your intuition becomes stronger than your logic. Listen to it, especially around friendships. Someone's energy either nourishes your spirit or quietly drains it, and you'll know the difference. Love deepens through vulnerability. Money improves when emotional decisions stop influencing financial choices. Don't spend to soothe feelings, spend to build your future. Spiritually, meditation, journaling, nature, and quiet reflection become incredibly healing. The answers you're searching for don't arrive through noise, they arrive through stillness. Greatest opportunity for you guys: emotional freedom. The lesson: peace is more valuable than being right. If you have Taurus and Venus, love learns patience and standards rise. Venus rules Taurus, so this month carries extra significance for you guys. Your heart isn't interested in games anymore. You're craving consistency, reliability, safety. If someone says one thing but consistently does another, you'll notice. Singles may attract someone who feels grounded, emotionally mature, and genuinely interested in building something rather than them chasing temporary excitements. Don't mistake slow progress for lack of chemistry. Sometimes the strongest relationships grow quietly. For couples, August brings opportunity to strengthen commitment. Share financial planning, vacation discussions, moving in together, planning for the future. Money also becomes a major theme. This is an excellent month to negotiate salary, raise prices, attract higher paying clients, or finally recognize the true value of your talents. Stop discounting yourself. The market responds to confidence. Beauty, fashion, home decorating, food, luxury services, wellness, and artistic businesses may experience noticeable growth. Love, I feel like choose consistency over intensity. For money, your value increases the moment you believe it does. Now, if you're Taurus rising, your theme is the next chapter begins at home. For Taurus rising, life begins changing from the inside out. The Leo eclipse activates your home sector. Some of you may move, purchase property, sell a home, welcome someone into your household, or emotionally redefine where you truly belong. There aren't random events. They're preparing you for the next several years, actually. Careers also begin shifting. Pluto continues transforming your public reputation and professional life. You may suddenly feel called toward leadership, entrepreneurship, or a completely different career path. Don't ignore that feeling. It's not restlessness. It's kind of like evolution. Uranus continues reminding you that financial security doesn't always come from traditional methods. A side business, technology, creative income, consulting, multiple revenue streams. Think bigger than you've allowed yourself to before. Relationships also evolve. People who truly support your growth become more obvious. Those who secretly benefit from your staying small become equally obvious. Choose your circles carefully. The people around you are shaping the future you're creating. Health improves through routines. Simple habits, consistent sleep, healthy food, daily movement. You don't need a dramatic transformation. You need consistency. By the end of August, you will begin realizing that stability isn't something you find, it's something you build. The greatest opportunity for you guys will be creating a life that you've always imagined. But watch for holding on to the past simply because it's familiar. Your affirmation for August, Taurus: release what no longer supports my growth, build my future with patience, confidence, and unwavering faith in my own worth. My roots grow deeper as my dreams grow bigger. All right? And we're going to get to Gemini. This will be for Gemini. There we go. It's like this sun is shining in. Okay. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising sign. Your words become your destiny, Gemini. You've always understood what words powers are. It creates worlds. But this month, your conversations become catalytic. Okay? August is one of the most mentally active and spiritually significant months you've experienced in years. With Uranus continuing its revolutionary influence through your sign, you're no longer the same person you were 6 months ago. The way you think, communicate, learn, teach, and connect with the world is undergoing a complete evolution. Now, the eclipses illuminate your communication, career, reputation, and inner belief system. Information you've been waiting for may finally arrive. A phone call, an email, a chance encounter, or a single conversation could redirect the course of your future. This month proves one thing. One sentence can change your entire life. Now, if you are Gemini Sun, your theme is speak it into existence. The Leo solar eclipse energizes your third house of communication, learning, contracts, networking, writing, siblings, travel, and technology. Your voice becomes your greatest asset, Gemini. Now, if you've been thinking about launching a podcast, writing a book, creating content, teaching, marketing, public speaking, or expanding your online presence, August gives you the green light. Stop waiting until you feel ready. You already know more than someone else who needs what you have to offer. Professionally, your ideas carry weight. Don't stay silent in meetings. Don't downplay your intelligence. Someone influential may notice the confidence with which you communicate, not just what you say. Financially, new income streams may come through communication, education, consulting, sales, media, technology, or social platforms. Relationships also improve through honest dialogue. If you've been avoiding a difficult conversation, August favors clarity over avoidance. The Pisces lunar eclipse shifts your attention toward career and public recognition. A chapter in your professional life may end so that something much larger can begin, like promotions, leadership, a new title, or finally leaving a job that no longer reflects your potential. Don't fear the ending. Fear staying somewhere you've already outgrown. Now, your greatest opportunity is being recognized for your knowledge. The challenge is overthinking instead of taking action. If you are Gemini Moon, your theme is to trust your inner voice. Your emotions have been unusually busy lately. You've been processing old disappointments, questioning future decisions, and wondering whether you're making the right choices. August helps quiet the mental noise. The eclipses remind you that not every answer comes from logic. Some answers come from intuition. You'll notice your instincts becoming sharper. Dreams become more vivid. Random thoughts prove meaningful. You'll sense when someone isn't being completely honest, even if they never say a word. Emotionally, this month asks you to stop carrying someone else's expectations. Do not explain every decision, and you don't need everyone's approval. Relationships deepen when you're emotionally present instead of intellectually analyzing every feeling. Love isn't a debate, it's an expense. Family dynamics may also improve as long overdue conversations finally happen. Forgiveness becomes easier once you stop expecting people to become who they were never capable of being. Financially, avoid making emotional decisions under pressure. Pause, reflect, then act. Your greatest opportunities will be emotional clarity, and your lesson, your intuition deserves as much trust as your intellect. If you are Gemini Venus, your theme, attraction through authenticity. Love becomes exciting again, not because people suddenly change, but because you do. You spent enough time entertaining inconsistent energy. August raises your standards. Singles may meet someone through travel, classes, social media, networking, or mutual friends. The attraction is immediate, but what keeps your attention is conversation. Mental chemistry becomes irresistible. You want someone who challenges your mind as well as your heart. For couples, communication transforms the relationship. Talk openly, laugh more, plan something spontaneous. Routine has quietly stolen some excitement. Bring curiosity back. Financially, opportunities arise through networking. Someone you know may introduce you to an opportunity you've been praying for. Never underestimate the value of relationships. Sometimes your next breakthrough is hiding inside your existing contacts. Creative projects involving writing, speaking, education, design, digital marketing, or technology receive favorable energy. For love, choose someone who listens as deeply as they speak. For money, your connections are becoming valuable assets. Now, if you are Gemini rising, your theme is reinventing your entire identity. Gemini rising, if it feels like you've been shedding old versions of yourself, you're not imagining it. I feel like it's Uranus continuing its long-term journey through your sign. You're in the middle of one of the most redefining or defining periods of your life. This isn't a temporary mood, it's a complete reinvention. The person you were a year ago isn't the person you're becoming now, and August accelerates that transformation. The Leo solar eclipse activates your third house of communication, contracts, learning, business, travel, networking, and visibility. Suddenly, opportunities begin appearing through conversations, introductions, emails, social media, or people you've only met once. You may have even recently met. This is not the month to stay quiet. Your voice carries influence. If you've been thinking about launching a YouTube channel, a podcast, newsletter, coaching business, writing a book, taking a certification course, or becoming more visible online, the eclipse says go. People are paying attention, even when you think they aren't. Career momentum also begins building. You may receive an unexpected interview, a speaking opportunity, a collaboration, or an invitation that initially feels outside of your comfort zone. Say yes to opportunities that stretch you, but still align with your values. The Pisces lunar eclipse shines a spotlight on your career and public life, as well as your public image. Okay? For some Gemini risings, this marks the completion of a long chapter, leaving a job, finishing a major project, stepping into leadership, starting your own business, or finally receiving recognition for work that has gone unnoticed. If one professional door closes, don't panic. The eclipse isn't taking away your future, it's redirecting it. Financially, diversification becomes your greatest strength. Don't rely on one stream of income if you have the ability to build two or three. Your chart favors adaptability, and this month rewards those willing to think creatively about how they earn money. Relationships also shift. You'll become more selective about who has access to your time and energy. People who inspire your growth stay. People who drain your spirit naturally begin fading into the background, and there's no need for dramatic endings. Distance speaks for itself. Health deserves attention, especially your nervous system. Gemini energy can become mentally overstimulated during months like this, so protect your peace. Sleep enough, take breaks from constant information, go outside. Silence isn't empty. It's where your next breakthrough arrives. By the end of August, you'll realize something remarkable. The opportunities you've been asking the universe for have actually been asking for you. Your greatest opportunity, reinventing your life through your voice, your ideas, and your willingness to embrace change. Watch for scattering your energy across too many projects. Focus creates momentum. Your affirmation, Gemini, for August is my voice has power. My ideas have value. I trust my intuition as much as I trust my intellect and I welcome the opportunities that align with my highest path. Every conversation brings me closer to the life I'm meant to live. Up next, we have Cancer. And we're going to go over those of you that may have Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, or Rising. So for August 2026, Cancer, the energy has know your worth, then watch the universe agree energy. You spent the last year protecting your heart, nurturing everyone around you, and quietly carrying burdens that few people even knew existed. You've been the safe place, the healer, the protector, but August changes the question. Instead of asking who needs me, the universe asks, what do I deserve? This month shifts your attention to your finances, self-worth, career, and long-term security. The eclipses challenge you to stop settling for less than you're capable of receiving. Whether it's money, love, respect, or opportunities, August reminds you that your value has never depended on someone else's ability to recognize it. Your season may be over, but your breakthrough is just beginning. So if you have Cancer Sun, your theme is your value is rising. The Leo solar eclipse illuminates your second house of income, possessions, confidence, self-worth, and financial stability. This is one of the strongest financial resets you've experienced in years. Some Cancer Suns may receive a raise, a promotion, a better paying job, new clients, an unexpected financial opportunity, a profitable business idea. But before your bank account grows, your confidence has to. You've been undervaluing yourself for too long, charging too little, accepting too little, expecting too little. August asks you to stop negotiating against yourself. Career opportunities appear when your natural gifts are appreciated. People begin noticing the consistency you've been bringing behind the scenes. Recognition is earned and not handed to you. In relationships, the largest lesson is reciprocity. Love shouldn't always feel like you're the only one giving. If you're constantly pouring into someone else's cup while yours stays empty, it's time to ask why. Now, singles, you guys could attract some individual, financially stable, emotionally mature, and genuinely interested in building a future. The Pisces lunar eclipse expands your horizon, travel, education, spiritual growth, legal matters, publishing, and teaching. This is your reminder that your life is much bigger than your current comfort zone. Your greatest opportunity, financial abundance through confidence. The challenge is believing you're worthy of receiving more. Now, if you have Cancer Moon, your theme is to trust your emotional compass. Cancer moons feel everything, and August turns the volume up on your intuition. You'll know when something feels off. You'll know when someone feels off. Don't talk yourself out of what your spirit already knows. The Pisces, the Pisces lunar eclipse forms a beautiful emotional connection with your moon energy, encouraging deep healing, forgiveness, and spiritual expansion. Old fears begin dissolving. You stop worrying so much about disappointing people. You begin asking yourself what actually makes you happy. Family relationships may improve through compassion. Some conversations heal generations of emotional pain. Others simply provide closure. Either way, your heart becomes lighter. Financially, trust your instincts before signing agreements or making investments. Your intuition is sharper than usual. Love becomes more emotionally fulfilling. You no longer want excitement without safety. You want both. Spiritually, synchronicities become impossible to ignore, like songs, dreams, repeated numbers, unexpected messages. The universe speaks in whispers before it speaks through life-changing events, so listen carefully. Your greatest opportunity, emotional peace. Lesson, your sensitivity is your superpower, not your weakness. If you have Venus Cancer, your theme, love begins with self-respect. If your Venus is in Cancer, August transforms your relationships with love. You've always been deeply loving, sometimes too deeply though. You've often given people the benefit of doubt long after they stopped earning it. That's changing. The Leo eclipse teaches you that self-worth attracts healthier relationships. Singles may meet someone through work, family gatherings, financial opportunities, or mutual friends. This connection feels secure, comfortable, like home, not chaotic, not confusing, just genuine. Couples begin discussing bigger commitments, buying property, combining finances, marriage, children, future planning. Money also becomes a blessing. Venus helps attract abundance when you stop apologizing for your success. Luxury doesn't have to create guilt. Prosperity isn't selfish, and receiving is part of the natural cycle of life. Creative business involving food, hospitality, caregiving, real estate, wellness, family services, design, or home decor may experience meaningful growth. Love advice: never confuse being needed with being loved. And for finances, stop discounting your gifts to make other people more comfortable. If you have Cancer rising, your theme is building real security. August begins changing your life from the inside out. The Leo solar eclipse activates your second house of money, confidence, personal resources, and long-term stability. This isn't just about making more money, it's about believing you deserve more. Some of you will negotiate higher salaries. Others will launch businesses. Some will finally stop working for less than their worth. Career developments also through accelerate throughout the month. Someone influential notices your dedication. An opportunity you've been hoping for may arrive unexpectedly. Say yes, even if it feels intimidating. Growth rarely feels comfortable at first. The Pisces lunar eclipse expands your worldview. Travel opportunities, continuing education, teaching, speaking, writing, international connections, legal victories. Your future becomes much larger than your current circumstances. Relationships also mature. You're becoming less interested in fixing people, more interested in building with people. That's a huge difference. Health improves when emotional stress decreases. Protect your stomach, your digestion, your sleep. Your body has been carrying emotions your mind hasn't fully processed. Nourish yourself with the same care you've always given everyone else. By the end of August, you'll realize the biggest transformation wasn't in your finances, it was in your self-belief. Once that changes, everything else begins switching up. Your greatest opportunity: creating lasting wealth, stability, and confidence. Watch for holding on to fear because it's familiar. Your future requires a new mindset. Now, Cancers, your affirmation for August is, I know my worth, and I no longer apologize for it. I welcome abundance, healthy love, and opportunities that honor my gifts. I trust that what is meant for me will never require me to abandon myself. Okay? Up next, we have Leo. Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Okay, let's set that here. Okay, Leos. The spotlight finds you again. This is your month. Not because it's your birthday season, but because the universe is handing you a blank page and saying, write a completely different story. You've spent the past year shedding old identities, questioning your purpose, and wondering why doors that used to open effortlessly suddenly felt locked. Now you know why. Those doors weren't meant to be reopened. Bigger ones are waiting. August is your personal reset. The solar eclipse in your sign is one of the most significant astrological events you'll experience this year. Eclipses often mark turning points, and when one occurs in your sign, It can coincide with a profound shift in how you see yourself and how the world sees you. This is your invitation to stop asking for permission. The crown has always been yours. Now it's time to wear it. Leo sun signs. Become the person you've been afraid to be. Solar eclipse in Leo lands directly in your first house, so your identity, your appearance, confidence, personal brand, health, and the direction of your life. This is your rebirth. You may change your appearance, cut your hair, start a fitness journey, launch a business, rebrand yourself. Walk away from an old identity that no longer fits. Whatever happens, people notice. This eclipse put you in the spotlight. If you've been hiding your gifts because you fear criticism, August reminds you that people will always have an opinion. Let them. You weren't born to blend in. Career opportunities accelerate quickly. Leadership positions, creative recognition, promotions, entrepreneurship, public visibility. People who overlooked you before suddenly recognize your value. Financially, this month rewards confidence. Ask for the raise. Raise your prices, pitch your idea, invest in yourself. You're no longer thinking about surviving, you're building a legacy. Love also transforms. If you're single, someone may enter your life who admires your confidence instead of trying to compete with it. If you're in a relationship, your partner may see a stronger, more authentic version of you. Healthy love celebrates your light. It never asks you to dim it. The Pisces lunar eclipse later this month shifts your attention toward intimacy, shared finances, debt, investments, and emotional vulnerability. Surface level living wasn't satisfying you anymore. You want honesty, depth, trust, transformation. Your greatest opportunity is reinventing yourself without apologizing for your evolution. Your challenge is letting go of the need for outside validation. Now, if you have Leo moon, your theme is healing your heart without losing your fire. Leo moons are generous, loyal, and protective, but you've often carried the weight of making everyone else feel loved while quietly wondering who was pouring back into you. August changes that. Your emotional world becomes clearer. You'll notice where you've been overgiving, where you've ignored your own needs, where you consider loyalty with obligation. The Pisces lunar eclipse encourages emotional honesty. Some relationships become stronger because vulnerability. Others quietly dissolve because they've reached their natural conclusion. So don't chase people who choose distance. Protect your peace. Family healing is possible this month. Someone may finally acknowledge your perspective. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes forgiveness simply means you stop carrying the pain. Spiritually, your intuition becomes surprisingly strong. Pay attention to repeated dreams, unexpected memories, gut feelings. The answers aren't coming from logic, they're coming from your heart. Financially, shared resources require careful planning. Avoid making emotional decisions around money. Think long term. The greatest opportunity for you is emotional confidence. And the lesson could be your heart deserves the same love that you freely give others. Okay? Now, if you have Leo and Venus, or Venus and Leo, however you say it, your theme is love that celebrates you. If your Venus is in Leo, August reminds you that love should never feel like competition. You're magnetic this month. People notice your energy before you even speak. Singles could attract someone charismatic, successful, creative, or highly visible. The chemistry is undeniable. But don't let attraction overshadow compatibility. Someone can admire your light without truly understanding your soul. Choose both. For couples, August brings renewed passion. Plan something exciting, travel together, celebrate one another. Remember why you fell in love. Financially, Venus favors luxury, beauty, entertainment, fashion, design, performance. content creation, branding, and businesses built around creativity. Don't hide your talents. Visibility creates opportunity. This is also an excellent month to invest in yourself. New wardrobe, professional photos, marketing, education. Your image is part of your business now. Treat it like an investment. For love, never shrink yourself to make someone else feel bigger. For money, visibility creates prosperity. Now, if you're Leo rising, your entire life is entering a new era. Leo rising, the eclipse belongs to you. The solar eclipse lands in your first house, beginning a completely new personal chapter that unfolds over the coming months. You'll notice changes almost immediately. People respond to you differently. Opportunities appear that it never existed before. Your confidence increases, not because life becomes easier, but because you finally trust yourself. Career breakthroughs become possible. Leadership roles, public recognition, business launches, creative projects, media attention. Networking becomes incredibly important. Someone you meet this month may open a door that changes your professional future. Relationships also evolve. People who truly support your growth become more visible. Those who only loved the older version of you may struggle with your evolution. Don't stop growing to make others comfortable. Health improves when you prioritize yourself instead of constantly rescuing everyone else. Your body reflects your confidence this month. Treat it with respect. Move it, rest it, fuel it. Now, financially, don't underestimate your earning potential. The work you've been putting in behind the scenes is preparing for a payoff. This month, ask one final question. If you fully believed in yourself, what would you do differently? Now go for that. Because August isn't just another month, it's the beginning of your next chapter. Greatest opportunity here, becoming the most authentic version of yourself and allowing the world to meet that person. Watch for letting the fear of change keep you attached to an identity you've already outgrown. And your affirmation for August, Leos: I embrace my light without apology. I release the need for approval and step confidently into the life I was born to lead. I am worthy of success, love, abundance, and every opportunity that finds me. Beautiful. Now we're going to move to our beautiful Virgos. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Dear Virgo, is this for you? Okay, let me see. I was trying to get you guys a good glimpse. It's just bright everywhere. Shine bright like a diamond. Okay. Now, what falls away was never meant to follow you, Virgo. In August, okay, you'll notice that you're known for planning every detail, thinking 5 steps ahead and making sure everything is in its proper place, right? But in August, it isn't asking you to control every outcome. It's asking you to trust the process. Some of what's leaving your life isn't a loss. It's a release. Now, this month is deeply spiritual. It pulls your attention inward before launching you outward. The solar eclipse activities your subconscious mind, or it activates. Because it's like, how is it going to activities my mind? It might try, it could feel like that. You know how y'all are. Hidden patterns, healing, and closure, while the Pisces lunar eclipse illuminates your relationships. So together they create one of the most profound emotional and spiritual turning points of your year. Okay? The universe is clearing the clutter, not just from your schedule, but from your soul, Virgos. So if you have Virgo Sun, your theme is by the end of the beginning. Okay? Now what that means is the Leo solar eclipse activates your 12th house, the house of endings, healing, spirituality, intuition, hidden blessings, and karmic closures. So this isn't the month to force things. It's the month to prepare. You may feel called to spend more time alone, not because you're lonely, but because your spirit is recalibrating old fears, old habits, old versions of yourself. They're all asking to be released. Career changes are happening behind the scenes. Even if you don't see immediate results, trust the conversations are taking place. Opportunities are forming and doors are quietly opening. Patience is your greatest strength this month. Financially, avoid impulsive spending. Focus instead of eliminating unnecessary debt. Organizing finances, and creating a long-term security. Like that's something to do instead of, impulsive spending. So debt first is kind of like things that have existed. You know what I mean? Unnecessary debts, organizing finances, and creating long-term security is like preparation. Now, relationships, because things are transforming and changing. So it's like doing things, from impulse, I think that would lead to like more complication since there is a transformation and endings and changes. It's kind of like you taking things back because of like, what did they say? Remorse return or something. That's like, I collect all these things and then have a change of heart, a change in circumstances. And who wants that? Okay. Now, relationships do become deeply revealing. So someone's true intentions may finally become clear. If you're single, a connection could develop quietly before becoming something significant. If you're partnered, honesty becomes the foundation of deeper intimacy. And with the Pisces lunar eclipse, it shifts your focus to partnerships, actually. So some relationships become stronger through commitment. Others reach a natural conclusion. Don't fear the ending. Every ending creates space for something healthier. Now, your greatest opportunity, emotional and spiritual healing that prepares you for your next chapter. The challenge is trying to control what needs to unfold naturally. Okay? Now, if you're a Virgo moon, your theme, your heart learns to rest. Virgo moons carry invisible responsibilities. You notice everything, you remember everything. You often worry about things before they happen. August asks your heart to finally exhale. The eclipse helps you to release emotional perfectionism, and you don't have to fix everything or everyone. You don't have to solve every problem. Sometimes love simply means being present. Family dynamics begin improving through compassion instead of criticism. Someone may surprise you with vulnerability. Allow yourself to receive it. Emotionally, this month teaches you to stop confusing productivity with self-worth. You are valuable even on the days you accomplish nothing. Spiritually, meditation, prayer, journaling, and time in nature become powerful tools for emotional clarity. Dreams may carry more importance. Pay attention. Now, financially, don't allow fear to make your decisions. Careful planning is wise. Constant worry isn't. Your greatest opportunity, finding peace instead of perfection. And the lesson here, rest is productive when it restores your soul. Okay. Now, if you guys have Virgo, it's just so bright. I mean, I love that. I guess I won't complain. You guys have a theme of like love becoming honest. Ew. So if your Venus is in Virgo, August changes the way you approach relationships. You've spent enough time trying to earn love through service. Okay, it could be a love language, like cooking, helping, fixing, sacrificing. Now you're learning something different. Healthy love doesn't require constant proving. Singles may meet someone through work, health, volunteering, education, or mutual responsibilities. The connection develops gradually. Don't mistake slow beginnings for lack of potential. Some of the strongest relationships are built patiently. Couples begin having meaningful conversations about shared responsibilities, future goals, and emotional needs. Small acts of kindness become more important than grand romantic gestures. Financially, Venus favors organization, which is budgets, investments, saving, long-term planning. You'll feel much more secure when you know exactly where your money is going. Business involving wellness, healthcare, education, nutrition, organization, consulting, editing, research, or personal services receive supportive energy. Now, for your love advice, stop trying to earn what should already be given freely. And for finances, organization creates abundance. That's for, I think we're on Venus, Virgo. Now, if you're a Virgo rising, okay, quiet preparation leads to major success. For my Virgo risings, August may feel quieter than some of the other signs, but don't mistake quiet for stagnant. This is preparation. The solar eclipse activates your 12th house, encouraging you to finish unfinished business before stepping into a completely new cycle next month. Release limiting beliefs, heal old disappointments, forgive yourself. Simply simplify your life. Clear physical and emotional clutter. Career developments continue behind the scenes. Someone may already be considering you for an opportunity you know nothing about. So keep showing up. Keep doing excellent work. Your consistency is being noticed. The lunar eclipse in Pisces transforms your relationships. For some, this means engagement or marriage. For others, it means recognizing that a relationship has reached its natural ending. Whatever happens, trust that clarity is a gift. Health deserves special attention. Protect your immune system, prioritize sleep, reduce stress. Your body has been asking for more balance. Listen before it forces you to. Financially, this is an excellent month to review contracts, organize paperwork, update business plans, and prepare for bigger opportunities arriving later this year. The biggest transformation isn't external, it's internal. So by the end of August, you'll feel lighter, clearer, stronger, and ready. Because September isn't your beginning, August is your preparation. Your greatest opportunity, healing everything that's been quietly holding you back, and watch for believing you have to carry every burden alone. For my Virgos, your August affirmation is I release what no longer serves my highest good. I trust divine timing, honor my inner wisdom, and welcome relationships, opportunities, and abundance that aligns with my authentic self. My greatest strength is found in my peace. Okay, for my Virgos. Now we are going to channel right on over to my amazing Libra. This reading is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. August, 2026. So in general, your circle is changing because your destiny is changing, Libra. You've always believed that life is about balance, right? Keeping the peace, finding common ground, making sure everyone feels seen. But August teaches you a powerful truth. Peace isn't the same as people pleasing. This month, your friendships, long-term goals, career aspirations, and spiritual life all come under the cosmic spotlight. The people you've surrounded yourself with, the dreams that you've been nurturing, and the future you've been envisioning all begin to evolve. The eclipse asks you to release relationships, habits, and commitments that no longer align with the person you're becoming. Not everyone is meant to go where you're headed, and that's okay. Okay? Sometimes the universe removes people from your life because your purpose has become bigger than your comfort zone, my Libras. So let's get started. If you are Libra Sun, your theme is your future finds you. Okay? This Leo solar eclipse activates your 11th house of friendships, networking, community, social influence, dreams, and long-term success. This is one of the most exciting networking months you've experienced in years. The right introduction, the right collaboration, the white friendship. Okay. The right friendship, the right opportunity. Everything begins with one connection. So don't isolate yourself this month. Attend the event, accept the invitation, join the group, say yes to the conversation. Someone you meet in August could completely change your career trajectory over the next year. Professionally, your reputation continues growing. Your ideas receive more attention. Leadership opportunities become available. People begin recognizing you as someone they trust. Financially, abundance arrives through collaboration rather than competition. Partnerships, referrals, group projects, community involvement, and relationships also evolve. You begin recognizing who truly celebrates your success and who secretly feels threatened by you. So pay attention. Real friends clap when you win. The Pisces lunar eclipse shifts your focus toward health, work routine, and emotional well-being. Stop sacrificing your peace to meet everyone else's expectations. Balance begins with you. Your greatest opportunity, one connection opens multiple doors. The challenge is holding on to friendships that have already run their course. Now, if you are Libra moon, protecting your peace is your theme. Libra moons often avoid conflict. You'd rather smooth things over than create tension. But August teaches you that avoiding conflict sometimes creates even more pain. Your emotional growth comes through honesty, not arguments. Honesty. You'll begin noticing where you've been saying yes while secretly feeling no. This pattern ends now. The Pisces lunar eclipse encourages emotional healing through healthier daily habits. Your nervous system has been asking for rest, so listen. Spend time with people who make you feel safe instead of obligated. Family relationships improve through clear communication. Someone may finally understand what you've been trying to express, or perhaps you finally stop needing to be understood by everyone. Love becomes emotionally balanced. No more chasing, no more guessing, no more carrying the relationship alone. Financially, emotional spending decreases as inner peace increases. When your heart feels full, your wallet doesn't become your therapist. Spiritually, your intuition grows stronger through silence. Create space to hear yourself think. Your greatest opportunity, emotional balance without self-sacrifice. And the lesson, boundaries protect peace. Now, if you have Libra Venus, your guys' theme is love meets its equal. Venus rules Libra, making this month especially significant for you. You've always believed in romance, beauty, partnership, connection, and August asks a deeper question. Does your relationship feel balanced? Singles may meet someone through networking events, mutual friends, creative communities, social media, or professional circles. The attraction feels natural, easy, respectful. There's no need to convince someone to choose you. They simply do. Couples rediscover harmony through honest conversations. If resentment has been quietly building, now is the time to address it with compassion. Love grows where honesty lives. Financially, Venus blesses artistic careers, fashion, beauty, design, interior decorating, photography, law, diplomacy, coaching, branding, and luxury services. Invest in your image. Refine your brand. I feel like the way you present yourself matters. So remember, elegance isn't expensive, it's intentional. Your advice for love, stop negotiating for bare minimum. And your advice for money, partnerships can multiply prosperity. If you're Libra rising, okay, don't get confused, okay? Libra. If you're a Libra rising, your community becomes your opportunity. Libra risings, August reminds you that success isn't built alone. The Leo solar eclipse activates your 11th house of community, organization, social influence, technology, networking, and future goals. This is the month to expand your reach, launch the platform, grow your audience, reconnect with old contacts, collaborate with people who inspire you. Your next opportunity doesn't arrive through isolation, it arrives through connection. Career momentum continues building behind the scenes, and a mentor may appear. A referral changes everything. An invitation leads to something much bigger than expected. Trust unexpected opportunities. The Pisces lunar eclipse also asks you to create healthier routines. Work smarter, not harder. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. Health improves through consistency, better sleep, better nutrition, more movement, less stress. Relationships become clearer. Some people were assigned to a season, not a lifetime. So release them with gratitude. Financially, long-term planning pays off. So retirement, investment, business growth, and professional education. Everything you plant this month has the potential to grow for years. By the end of August, you'll realize success isn't measured by how many people know your name. It's measured by the quality of the people walking beside you. So choose wisely. Your greatest opportunity, building relationships that support your future instead of your past. But watch for saying yes out of obligation instead of genuine desire. Now, Libras, your affirmation for August is I choose relationships that honor my worth and dreams that expand my future. I release the need to please everyone and embrace the life, love, and abundance that are truly aligned with me. My peace is my greatest power. That's what I have for you, Libras. Now, we are going to move to my Scorpios. So if you are Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, I always try to let you guys see your things. Jeez Louise. Okay, but it's like bright like a diamond over here. All right, Scorpios. This is in general. Your power was never lost, dear Scorpios. It was being refined. People often mistake your silence for weakness. They assume that because you don't announce every move, you're standing still. They couldn't be more wrong. You've been transforming beneath the surface, healing, planning, observing, waiting for the right moment. August is the moment. This month places your career, public reputation, legacy, and life purpose under a cosmic spotlight. The Leo solar eclipse elevates your professional life, while the Pisces lunar eclipse reignites your passion, creativity, and romance, as well as joy. You're not just climbing the mountain anymore. People are finally starting to notice you've reached a new level. The universe isn't asking you to prove your power, it's asking you to own it, Scorpio. Now, if you are Scorpio's sun, your legacy begins now. That is the theme. The Leo solar eclipse activates your 10th house of career, reputation, leadership, ambition, and public recognition. This is one of the biggest career months of your year, Scorpio. Expect conversations around promotions, leadership roles, business expansion, public recognition, career pivots, new opportunities, increased visibility. People who once underestimated you begin seeing your value. So don't seek revenge. Let your success speak. Okay, do I need a speech therapist? Now, if you've been thinking about launching a business or starting into like a leadership position, August supports bold strategic action. You weren't meant to stay behind the scenes forever, Scorpio. Financially, your earning potential increases through authority and expertise. Charge accordingly. Your knowledge has value. Stop treating it like it's ordinary. Relationships may temporarily take a backseat as career demands increase. Communicate openly with loved ones so ambition doesn't become emotional distance. The Pisces lunar eclipse reminds you that success means very little if you forget how to enjoy your life. So make time for creativity, romance, children, laughter, the people who matter the most. A balanced life is a successful life. Your greatest opportunity is becoming recognized for everything you've worked toward. The challenge is believing you have to choose between success and happiness. Now, if you're Scorpio moon, your theme is healing through joy. Scorpio moons feel deeply, but rarely reveal the full depth of those emotions. August encourages something unfamiliar, lightness. You've spent enough time surviving. Now it's time to start living again. The Pisces lunar eclipse opens your heart. Also, creative expression becomes healing. So music, art, writing, travel, romance. Anything that reminds you life isn't meant to be like all responsibility. Emotionally, you begin releasing old disappointments that have quietly shaped your expectations, and not everyone will betray you. Not every ending leads to heartbreak. Allow yourself to believe in possibility again. Family relationships soften. Someone may finally express the emotions they've been hiding for years. Financially, avoid allowing fear to keep you from pursuing worthwhile opportunities. Calculated risk may bring long-term rewards. Spiritually, your intuition becomes almost impossible to ignore. When your gut speaks, listen immediately. It's trying to protect you. Your greatest opportunity, rediscovering happiness without guilt. Your lesson, vulnerability is strength and not weakness. Now, if you are Scorpio Venus, your theme is love demands truth. If your Venus is in Scorpio, August strips away anything superficial. There's nothing being like invested, and you're no longer interested in like casual connections that go nowhere. You crave depth, honesty, loyalty, and emotional intimacy. Singles may experience an intense connection that feels almost magnetic. The chemistry is undeniable, but don't confuse emotional intensity with emotional health. Take your time, observe actions, not just words. Couples may have profound conversations that transform the relationship. Secrets come into the light. Trust depends through, or I guess it depends on honesty. How about that? Or if honesty has been missing, the relationship may naturally reach its conclusion. Money improves through strategic decisions rather than emotional ones. Excellent energy surrounds investments, business partnerships, financial planning, and long-term wealth building. So remember, real wealth isn't built overnight. It's built intentionally. Creative businesses involving psychology, healing, finance, research, investigative work, wellness, luxury services, or transformations receive supporting energy. For your love advice, never mistake obsession for love. For your money, patience creates lasting prosperity. Now, if you are Scorpio rising, your theme is the world finally sees what you've been building. Scorpio rising. This month changes your public image. The Leo solar eclipse activates your 10th house of career and reputation, bringing opportunities that may have been developed behind the scenes for months. You could receive a promotion, a leadership role, a business opportunity, media attention, professional recognition, or a chance to completely reinvent your career. The spotlight may feel uncomfortable. Step into it anyway. You didn't work this hard to stay invisible. Networking becomes incredibly important. Someone influential notices your consistency. One conversation could redirect your professional future. And the Pisces lunar eclipse reminds you to balance ambition with joy. Don't become so focused on building a life that you forget to actually live it. Romance becomes exciting again. Creative inspiration returns. Your confidence grows. Health also improves when stress decreases. So prioritize your heart, your sleep, your emotional well-being. Your body reflects the pressure you've been carrying, so release what isn't yours to control. Financially, this is an exceptional month to think long-term. Build systems, create passive income, strengthen investments. You're not just making money, you're building a legacy. By the end of August, you'll understand something powerful. The delays weren't punishment, they were preparation. Everything you've survived has been teaching you how to handle what's finally arriving. The greatest opportunity is stepping into your highest level of influence and professional success. But watch for trying to control every outcome instead of trusting the process. So Scorpios, your August affirmation is I embrace my power with wisdom and humility. I release fear. Trust the divine timing and welcome the success, love, and abundance that align with my highest purpose. I am no longer preparing for my future. I'm living in it. Okay. Now we're going to get to our cute little Saggies. No, okay. I'm not going to do it like that. My very powerful, okay, amazing Sagittarius. This would be for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising for the month of August 2026. Sagittarius, in general, the horizon is calling. Will you answer? Your soul wasn't designed to stay in one place. You were born under the sign of the explorer, the philosopher, the teacher, and the seeker of truth. Yet over the past year, responsibilities may have made you feel as though you've been standing still. So August changes everything. This month expands your vision while asking you to release the beliefs, fears, and limitations that have quietly kept you placing smaller than you're capable of. So don't play small, okay? This Leo solar eclipse ignites your ninth house of higher learning, travel, publishing, spirituality, legal matters, and professional growth. The Pisces lunar eclipse shines a light on home, family, emotional foundations, and your sense of belonging. The universe isn't just opening a door, it's revealing an entirely new world. The only question is, will you have the courage to walk through it? So, if you are Sagittarius Sun, your theme is expand beyond every limitation. The Leo solar eclipse activates one of the most fortunate houses. This house is of expansion, and that's like literally your energy, Sag. So, opportunities, adventure, wisdom, everything reminds you that life is meant to be lived and not merely survived. Expect opportunities involving travel, higher education, certifications, publishing, writing, speaking, teaching, international business, legal victories, and spiritual awakenings. If you've been thinking about relocating, studying something new, starting a podcast, writing a book, or sharing your knowledge publicly, this eclipse says yes. Career opportunities may come from places you never expected, a company in another city, an overseas client, an online audience, a mentor. The world becomes much smaller this month. Financially, investing in your education or business may produce long-term rewards. Think beyond immediate gratification, think legacy. Relationships become exciting when they're built around shared growth. So singles may meet someone while traveling, studying, attending events, or exploring new opportunities. Love expands your world. It doesn't shrink it. The Pisces lunar eclipse brings emotional clarity around home and family. Some Sagittarius suns may move. Others may reconnect with family or finally release old emotional patterns rooted in childhood. Healing your past creates freedom for your future. Your greatest opportunity is saying yes to experiences that completely change your life. The challenge is allowing your fear to keep you comfortable. Now, if you're Sagittarius moon, finding home within yourself could be your theme. Sagittarius moons often keep moving because stillness feels uncomfortable. August invites you to pause. Not forever, just long enough to hear your own heart. The Pisces lunar eclipse illuminates emotional foundation. You may find yourself reflecting on family, childhood, ancestry, or the people who shaped your understanding of love and security. Old wounds don't return to punish you. They return to be healed. Emotionally, this month teaches you that freedom doesn't always require leaving. Sometimes freedom begins the moment you stop carrying emotional baggage. Relationships deepen through honesty. Someone may finally understand what you've been trying to express, or perhaps you simply realize you no longer need validation from people who cannot meet you where you are. Financially, avoid making decisions based solely on optimism. Dream big, plan wisely, both are necessary. Spiritually, your intuition becomes surprisingly grounded. The answers aren't somewhere far away, they're already inside of you. Your greatest opportunity, emotional healing that creates lasting inner peace, and the lesson: you can explore the world without running from yourself. All right. Now, if you are Sagittarius Venus, your theme is to love without limits. Okay. If your Venus is in Sagittarius for August, it reminds you that love should feel like freedom and not confinement. Singles may attract someone adventurous, intellectually curious, spiritually open, or from a different culture or background. The connection feels exciting because it expands your perspective, not because it creates drama. So choose growth over chaos. For couples, this is an excellent month to travel together, learn something new, or step outside of your normal routine. Adventure rekindles passion. Financially, opportunities may arrive through education, media, travel, publishing, coaching, online businesses, or international connections. Your ability to inspire others become profitable. Don't underestimate the value of your life experiences. Someone needs the wisdom you've earned. Your love advice: choose the person who supports your freedom, not the one who fears it. And for money, investing in yourself often produces the greatest return. Now, if you are Sagittarius rising, a new journey begins. Sagittarius rising, you felt it for months. That quiet voice telling you that your current life is only the beginning. Well, August confirms it. The Leo solar eclipse activates your ninth house of expansion, opening doors that may completely reshape your future over the next coming months. Some of you will relocate, travel internationally, return to school, earn certifications, launch a business, publish a book, teach, speak publicly, or expand your audience. This isn't random. It's preparation for a much larger chapter. Career growth accelerates as people recognize your expertise, so don't hide your knowledge. Share it. Someone you've never met may become your next client, employer, mentor, or business partner. The Pisces lunar eclipse also asks you to strengthen your foundation. A beautiful future still needs solid roots. Pay attention to your home life, your emotional health, your closest relationships. Success means little if you have no peace to return to. Health improves when movement becomes intentional, so walk, stretch, travel, reconnect with nature. Your body was built to move. Financially, long-term investments in education, business development, or professional growth are favored. So spend with purpose, not impulse. By the end of August, you will realize your biggest breakthrough wasn't external. It was believing that you're capable of living a life even bigger than the one you've imagined. The horizon isn't moving further away. It's moving closer, so walk toward it. Your greatest opportunity is stepping into life that reflects your highest vision instead of your current circumstances. Watch for talking yourself out of opportunities because they feel too big. Okay, that's a big one. Now, Sagittarius, your affirmation for August is: I trust the journey unfolding before me. I welcome new experiences, limitless opportunities, and the wisdom that comes from living boldly. My future is bigger than my fears, and I step forward with faith, courage, and purpose. Now we are going to get to the Cappies. So this section of the video is for Capricorn. I was like, can we see it? Because baby, it's just shine bright like a diamond everywhere. Just everywhere. Okay, there we go. You see that? It's just let your soul glow. Okay, I'm having too much fun. All right. Capricorn, August 2026. Everything you're building is about to become bigger than you imagined. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine everything you're building becoming bigger than you can imagine? All right, Capricorn. No one sees the sacrifices you've made. The late nights, the impossible decisions, the responsibilities you carry without complaining. People see the results. They rarely see the climb, but the universe has. August isn't about starting from scratch. It's about collecting the rewards of everything you've quietly been building. This month transforms your relationship with power, money, intimacy, trust, and long-term wealth. The Leo solar eclipse activates your 8th house of transformation and shared resources, while Pisces lunar eclipse expands your communication, learning, business, and connections. You're no longer building just for survival. You're building a legacy, and legacies require evolution. Now, if you are a Capricorn sun, transformation creates prosperity. That is the theme. This solar eclipse in Leo activates your 8th house of shared finances, investments, taxes, inheritances, debt, business partnerships, intimacy, and profound transformations. This isn't surface level change. This is the kind of change that permanently alters your future. Financially, this can be one of your strongest months of the year. A business investment, a loan approval, a settlement, a bonus, a profitable partnership, debt reduction, a new financial strategy, and long-term wealth planning. August asks you to think like an owner instead of an employee. How can your money begin working for you? Career also shifts. Power dynamics change. Someone who once held authority over you may no longer influence your path. You're becoming more independent, more respected, more influential. Relationships deepen. If you're single, you may meet someone whose emotional depth surprises you. This isn't a casual attraction, by the way. It feels significant. If you're in a relationship, conversations around trust, vulnerability, and shared goals become central. The Pisces lunar eclipse activates your 2nd house of income and self-worth. The biggest wealth upgrade begins inside your mind. So once you stop undervaluing yourself, the world stops undervaluing you too. Your greatest opportunity, building generational wealth. Okay? No one else got that in their horoscope today, Capricorn. Now, the challenge is trying to control every outcome instead of allowing healthy transformation. If you are a Capricorn moon, learning to trust again may be the theme of August for you. Capricorn moons often protect themselves by staying busy. Work feels safer than vulnerability. Achievement feels easier than emotional exposure. August softens those walls. The eclipse reminds you that softness isn't measured strength isn't measured by how much you carry alone. It's measured by your willingness to let people truly know you. Family dynamics may improve through honest conversations. Someone you've emotionally distanced yourself from may attempt reconciliation. Listen with wisdom. Forgive where appropriate. But don't ignore patterns simply because you're hopeful they've changed. Emotionally, this month teaches you that success without peace isn't success at all. You deserve both. Financially, trust your instincts when negotiating agreements. You're seeing situations much more clearly than you realize. Spiritually, you will begin noticing that many of your recent disappointments were actually protection. Not every closed door was rejection. Some were divine redirection. So the opportunity here is, I want to say, emotional security. The lesson, you don't have to earn love through achievement. Now, if you are Capricorn Venus, love becomes intentional. Okay? So, yeah, if your Venus is in Capricorn, August brings maturity to your relationships. You've outgrown temporary connections. You're thinking long-term stability, commitment, shared values, a future. Singles may attract someone accomplished, ambitious, emotionally dependable, or financially responsible, and this relationship grows steadily rather than dramatically. And that's exactly why it has potential. Couples begin discussing bigger life decisions, marriage, investments, property, retirement, business, ventures, children. Building together becomes more important than simply staying together. Financially, Venus supports disciplined investing, real estate, business expansion, retirement planning, long-term assets. This isn't the month to chase quick money. It's the month to create lasting wealth. Luxury purchased with intention becomes an investment, not an expense. For love, build with someone who shares your vision, not just your chemistry. And with money, think decades ahead and not just days. Okay? It's so bright. It's like, gee whiz. Look at that. Okay, I like that. Now, if you are Capricorn rising, your empire is taking shape. Ooh, I love that. August changes the way you think about success. Now, the Leo solar eclipse activates your 8th house, bringing opportunities through partnership, investments, mergers, financial support, and deep personal transformation. Some of you may receive financial backing that allows you to grow faster than expected. Others may finally, eliminate a financial burden that's been weighing on you for years. Career continues evolving. Leadership opportunities appear. Your expertise becomes increasingly valuable. People seek your guidance because you've earned credibility through consistency and not hype. Networking also becomes more meaningful. The right business partner, the right investor, the right mentor. One strategic relationship could completely reshape your future. The Pisces lunar eclipse sharpens your communication. Your words carry authority. Teaching, consulting, writing, public speaking, content creation, negotiation, all receive supportive energy. Don't underestimate the influence of your voice. Health improves when you release chronic stress. Capricorn often carry tension in the body without realizing it. So stretch, reach, rest, breathe. Your ambition will always be there. Your well-being deserves equal attention. By the end of August, you'll realize you've stopped chasing success because you started becoming the kind of person success naturally follows. That's the real transformation. Now, your greatest opportunity, building lasting wealth, influence, and meaningful partnerships. Watch for believing you have to do everything alone. Collaboration is one of the greatest strengths this month. Capricorn, for August, your affirmation is, I trust the foundation I have built. I welcome abundance, meaningful partnerships, and opportunities that strengthen my legacy. I release the need to control every outcome and embrace the transformation leading me toward lasting success. Now we have Aquarius. I want to fix this light like so bad. Because that is just unfair. Jeez. Am I being like OCD, y'all? I don't care. It's like the sun is shining on us. Hold on, wait a minute. I don't care about y'all judging me. Let me see something. I'll just be doing stuff. Wait a minute. And watch, I do all this. It don't change. Absolutely nothing. Okay, let's see. I'm funny. Oh my gosh. Absolutely nothing. OMG. That is so like, I can just throw something. It's like what this is nothing but the camera is doing this. It's like, anyway, Aquarius, I was trying. All you see is light. Everybody it's gonna be great in August, y'all, because all of them just you got halos everywhere. All right. So Aquarius. It is your turns. Now, in general, the relationship that shaped your future arrives now. So not shaped. Let me say shapes. The relationship that shapes your future. Ooh, okay, tune in. Now, if you've been ahead of your time your whole life, you see possibilities long before everyone else's catches up. Okay? You've been afraid to question tradition. Challenge expectations. Well, actually, I'm sorry, you've never been afraid. Okay, the light is blinding me. You've never been afraid, Aquarius. I probably was about to get beat up and blocked. To question tradition, challenge expectations, or imagine a different future. But August isn't asking you to change the world, it's asking you to decide who gets to build that future with you. This is one of the most relationship focused months of your year. The Leo solar eclipse activates your seventh house of partnership, marriage, contracts, clients, and significant one-on-one relationships. The Pisces lunar eclipse shines light on your finances, confidence, and self-worth. Every important relationship becomes a mirror. Some reflect your highest potential, others reveal where you've been accepting less than you deserve. The universe isn't removing people to punish you, it's aligning you with those who truly belong in your next chapter. So, if you are Aquarius sun, the right people change everything is your theme. The Leo solar eclipse activates your seventh house of committed partnerships. This isn't just about romance, it's about every meaningful relationship in your life. So, marriage, business partners, clients, collaborators, mentors, contracts, soul connections. Some Aquarius sun may meet someone who completely changed the direction of their life. Others may strengthen an existing relationship through deeper commitment. For some, a relationship reaches its natural conclusion because both people have grown in different directions. Whatever unfolds, clarity is your greatest gift. Okay? Career opportunities also arrive through collaboration. The person sitting across the table from you may become the key to your next breakthrough. Don't underestimate introductions. One conversation could create opportunities that continue unfolding for years. Financially, partnerships prove profitable. Joint ventures, shared investments, collaborative businesses, strategic alliances. Think bigger than what you can build alone. The Pisces lunar eclipse reminds you that every relationship begins with the relationship you have with yourself. So your confidence determines the opportunities you're willing to accept. Raise your standards. The rest will follow. Your greatest opportunity is reforming life-changing partnerships, or forming for some of you. It's the greatest opportunity. I think that's dope. Life-changing is big. Your challenge is, however, holding on to relationships you've already outgrown. Okay? Now for Aquarius moon. Emotional reciprocity is the theme. Now, Aquarius moons often protect themselves by staying emotionally independent. You've learned to rely on yourself. You become incredibly resilient, but August teaches you that strength also includes allowing yourself to receive. The Leo eclipse highlights emotional balance in relationships. Notice who asks how you're doing and actually waits for the answer. Notice who only calls when they need something. Your emotional energy deserves protection. Family relationships become more harmonious through honest conversation. You don't have to solve every disagreement. Sometimes the understanding is enough. Love becomes gentler, safer, more emotionally available. Financially, your emotions around money begin healing. Old fears surrounding scarcity slowly lose their grip. You'll realize abundance begins with believing there's enough for you too. Spiritually, this is an excellent month to strengthen your connection with your intuition. Your inner voice has become much wiser than you give it credit for, so trust it. The greatest opportunity is receiving the love and support you've always given others. The lesson, independence, and intimacy can exist together. Now, if you are Aquarius Venus, love without pretending. That is your theme. August transforms your expectations around love. You've never wanted ordinary. You want someone who understands your mind, your dreams, your vision. This month, authenticity becomes irresistible. Singles may meet someone through technology, humanitarian work, networking, education, social causes, or mutual friends. The relationship begins with friendship, conversation, and shared ideas, and then grows into something much deeper. Couples rediscover one another by creating new experiences instead of repeating old routines. Keep learning together. Keep growing together. And financially, Venus favors innovation. So technology, online businesses, consulting, creative startups, digital platforms, community-based businesses, and your unique perspective is valuable. Don't try to copy someone else's success. Create your own. For love, the advice is to choose someone who celebrates your individuality instead of trying to change it. And money, innovation creates opportunity. If you are Aquarius rising, a new chapter in every relationship is your theme. For Aquarius rising, the solar eclipse lands directly in your seventh house, one of the most significant relationship houses in astrology. So the people entering your life now aren't random at all. Some will become business partners, others long-term, lifelong friends, and some future spouses, some teachers. Some simply arrive to help redirect your path. So pay attention to new connections. Career growth accelerates through collaboration. Someone may recommend you, refer you, hire you, or introduce you to someone who changes everything. Say yes to networking. Say yes to partnerships. You don't have to build your dream alone. The Pisces lunar eclipse also shifts your attention toward money. This is an excellent month to raise your prices, ask for a promotion, improve your financial strategy, build new income streams, invest in skills that increase your earning potential. Stop undervaluing yourself. People often believe what you believe about yourself. Health improves when your relationships become healthier. Stress decreases. Sleep improves. Your nervous system begins relaxing. Peace is productive. By the end of August, you'll realize the biggest blessing wasn't the opportunity itself, it was the people who arrived carrying it. Your future isn't waiting somewhere far away, it's walking toward you through the relationships you're building today. So, your greatest opportunity, finding the people who elevate every area of your life, but watch for keeping emotional distance out of habit instead of necessity. Aquarius, your August affirmation is I attract relationships that honor my truth, expand my vision, and support my highest purpose. I trust myself, value my gifts, and welcome abundance, love, and meaningful partnerships into my life with an open heart. Okay, y'all do the other hand heart on the other side. There you go. Now we are going to do Pisces. This portion of the video is for Pisces. Can I get a good, man? Oh, that was nice. Look at that. Oh, at that glow. It's like on purpose, like messing with me. That is crazy bonkers. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. The universe is returning you to yourself, baby. Now, in general, Pisces, you've always felt things other people couldn't explain. Now, you've sensed changes before they happened. You believed in possibilities long before they became reality. But somewhere along the way, you started doubting yourself. Not because your intuition failed you, because the noise around you became louder than the wisdom within you. August changes that. This is one of the most significant months of your year. The lunar eclipse in Pisces places you directly in the cosmic spotlight, while the Leo solar eclipse transforms your daily life, health, routines, work, and purpose. This isn't just another month. This is a personal awakening. The universe isn't asking you to become someone new. It's asking you to remember who you've always been. So, if you're a Pisces sun, your life is being rewritten. That's your theme. The Leo solar eclipse activates your sixth house of work, health, routine, service, discipline, and daily responsibilities. Small changes become life-changing changes. This month isn't about dramatic overnight success. It's about creating habits that completely transform your life. Career opportunities begin appearing through consistency. The work you've been doing behind the scenes finally gains attention. Someone notices your dedication, your reliability, your quiet excellence. Don't underestimate the value of showing up every day. Financially, August rewards organization. So budgeting, planning, saving, creating systems. Your relationship with money becomes healthier because your relationship with yourself becomes healthier. The Pisces lunar eclipse, however, that's your moment. The eclipse lands in your first house of identity, confidence, appearance, and personal direction. It's the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. You may change your appearance, start a new path, leave behind an old identity, release relationships that no longer fit, walk away from fear. People around you notice the difference before you do. You're becoming more confident, more peaceful, more certain, trusted. Relationships improve when you stop trying to rescue everyone else. You were born to love, not to carry everyone else's burdens. Your greatest opportunity, becoming the person you've always known you could be. The challenge, letting go of the identity built around self-sacrifice. If you are Pisces moon, emotional rebirth is your theme. Pisces moons, this eclipse belongs to your heart. You've been carrying grief, confusion, disappointment, emotional exhaustion, and August helps you put it down. Not because it didn't matter, because you've carried it long enough. You'll notice yourself becoming emotionally lighter. Forgiveness becomes easier, not because people suddenly deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Relationships become more authentic. People who truly understand your heart remain. Others naturally drift away. And don't chase what is leaving. Your intuition becomes almost prophetic. Dreams, visions, repeated signs, unexpected conversations. Pay attention. The universe is speaking clearly now. Family relationships may heal in surprising ways. Someone you've been worried about may finally begin finding their own strength. Financially, trust your instincts, but support them with practical planning. Compassion and wisdom make an incredible team. Your opportunities are emotional freedom. The lesson, your intuition has never been wrong, only ignored. Now, Pisces Venus, love that heals instead of hurts is your theme. If your Venus is in Pisces, August completely changes your understanding of love. You've always loved deeply, completely, selflessly, sometimes too selflessly. The Pisces eclipse reminds you that love should never require abandoning yourself. Singles may attract someone emotionally mature, spiritually connected, artistic, compassionate, and deeply intuitive. This relationship feels peaceful, not confusing, not emotionally exhausting, just safe. For couples, emotional intimacy deepens through honesty. Tell the truth. Share your fears. Express your dreams. Real intimacy begins where pretending ends. Financially, Venus favors creative industries like music, photography, healing, art, writing, film, spiritual work, counseling. Your imagination is valuable. Don't keep your gifts hidden. People need what only you can create. So for love, the advice is love should expand your spirit and not drain it. And for money, your creativity deserves to be compensated. If you are Pisces rising, becoming the person you are always meant to be is your theme. So Pisces rising, this lunar eclipse lands in your first house, one of the most personal and transformative placements possible. This is your rebirth. Everything begins changing. Your confidence, your appearance, your energy, your priorities, the people you attract, the way the world responds to you. You may finally release an old version of yourself you've been carrying for years. Someone may even say, "You've changed." Smile. They're right. Career also improves as your confidence grows. You're no longer asking whether you're qualified. You're showing people what you're capable of. The solar eclipse supports healthier routines, so better routines improves work-life balance, physical healing, mental clarity as well. You begin realizing that success doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working in alignment with who you truly are. Relationships also transform. You're no longer trying to convince people to love you. You're allowing the right people to recognize your value naturally. So financially, abundance increases as self-worth increases. The two have always been connected. This month proves health deserves special attention. Rest, hydration, Sleep, nutrition, spiritual practices, and quiet moments should be prioritized. Your sensitivity isn't something to fix, it's something to protect. By the end of August, you'll realize this wasn't the month that changed your life, it was the month that reminded you. You were always capable of changing it yourself. Now, your greatest opportunity, a complete personal rebirth that influences every area of your life. Watch for looking backward when the universe is pulling you forward. Pisces, your August affirmation is to trust your intuition completely, release every fear, every limitation, and every version of yourself that no longer reflects your highest truth. Welcome love, abundance, healing, and purpose with an open heart. You are exactly who you were created to be. So I hope that you all enjoyed your readings, did your pick-a-cards, left your comments, liked and shared. It was my pleasure. Until next time.